4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everyone, to episode 266 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Will.
Corey.
Eric is not here this week. Eric is en route. He's traveling. I know he's got a bachelor party kind of near where we are this late this week and this weekend. So I think he's traveling right now, or he might be in the Binghamton area now. But either way, not going to be on this week. Today's topic is going to be our 2016 Fall Games preview. It's that time of the year again, of course.
It's a Thumbstick Athlete staple.
Thumbstick Athlete staple, yep. Fall Games preview, New Year Games preview, those type of episodes. And they take a lot longer than we initially think, at least as far as note-taking goes. Notes-taking goes, right?
Yep, nose-taking.
Yeah. Teasers for later on in the episode. I can confirm that at least me and Will played this. I don't know if Corey did, but Deus Ex Mankind Divided. We will be giving our brief first impressions of later on in the episode. We're going to have a full-on episode on it next week. Corey, did you play Deus Ex?
I did not.
Not yet. Okay. I'm actually sharing Deus Ex with quite a few people.
I hope nobody wanted to play today.
No.
Okay.
No, you and Corey and a friend of mine who you guys
Gotcha.
are all playing it. So yeah, that's going to be during what we played. But yeah, main topic, 2016 games preview. Starting with September. Will, what do you got?
That's me. So the first title that I decided to take down is September 6th, The Tomorrow Children. This is developed by Q Games and published by Sony. I don't know if you guys remember seeing anything about this game, but this is like the Soviet Union-themed post-apocalyptic game. It's described as a mix of Minecraft-esque collaborative building social economic simulator. So basically, you kind of like build up a city and defend it from things that attack it. Now, this game isn't officially launched the 6th, but what it is doing is it's doing a Founders Pack, and the game will be free to play at a later date. And when you buy the Founders Pack, you get a bunch of like in-game items and whatnot. But this is the game with that really cool art style. I can't really describe it. You guys know what game I'm talking about, though? It's got like the... I honestly have no idea how to even describe the art style because it's so unique.
It's like Coraline.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like that, and it's got like the characters that you would see from like kind of like puppet looking, kind of like Pinocchio, you know?
Yeah.
Looking designs of the character. This is a game I'm pretty excited for. I probably won't do the Founders Pack for it though because I don't want to pay if it's just going to be free to play later.
You don't want to be a founder?
I did that for Heroes of the Storm, and that'll be the only game I ever buy in early.
You don't want a slick founder's badge on your avatar?
Is that what it adds?
I have no idea.
I probably should have looked that up. I didn't even think about it. But this is one of Sony's indie games that they showed off, I think, not this E3, but the E3 before. But moving on to the following day, Oceanhorn, Monster of the Uncharted Seas. Now, this is the release for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version. Now, this game came out on iOS in 2013, and the gameplay and the graphic design follows The Legend of Zelda, and most notably Wind Waker and A Link to the Past. It's developed by Corn Fox and Bros and published by FDG Entertainment. And the game focuses on a boy protagonist's quest to find his lost father and defeat a sea monster. This is a game that I kind of wanted to get on my iOS device for quite a while now, but now that it's coming to the new consoles, or the current gen, I might just pick it up there. Because it was only, I think it was like $15 on iOS, so I can't imagine it'll be too pricey on the current gen.
I don't know if I played this. I played a game called Horn. Is that different than Oceanhorn?
Yes.
Okay.
It's always been Oceanhorn. Are you sure you didn't play Oceanhorn?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I just thought the name sounded familiar, and the gameplay looks kind of similar to Horn, but I guess not. I guess it's a different game.
You've probably seen a lot about this game because I've read a lot about it in the 2 years, 3 years that it's been out. And it's been a game that I've been really interested in. But also the sequel got announced recently, a couple days ago, to be coming out sometime this year too. So that's pretty cool to see that this iOS game kind of took off and being ported to the consoles. Next is September 13th, the BioShock Collection. Now, this is the remaster of all the BioShock's game for the current consoles and PC. So this game is this collection is gonna have 1080p resolution and 60 frames per second for all the games, and spread across 2 discs. And I'm curious if it's gonna be BioShock 1 and 2 on one disc and then Infinite on another.
I don't know.
Because they didn't specify that. So that makes the most sense since BioShock 1 and 2 are the most similar and probably smaller games as opposed to Infinite. But the only drawback, this is according to some people, not to me, that the PC version of BioShock Infinite won't have any like graphical improvements because they said that the game is already pretty competitive graphically on the PC, which I kind of agree with.
Yeah.
But a lot of fans seem to disagree with that. Well, you know gamers.
Looks pretty darn good still.
Yeah, I mean, it looks beautiful to me. I booted it up the other day, and I was like, this game still looks gorgeous.
I try to play it once a year if I can.
Yeah. I was actually going to play through it recently, but since the collection's coming out, I might just wait and then play it when it comes out.
Yeah, also worth noting, I don't know if you have this down, Will, but if you already own it on PC, you get the remastered versions for free.
Yep, that is true. I think actually they ran a deal recently that all of the games were together like $5 for the first 2 BioShock, so that's when I bought them. But yeah, what other game did that or is doing that?
Skyrim.
Yes, that's right, Skyrim. If you have all the DLC in the base game. So yeah, and I mean they're cheap to begin with. So like if you just want, instead of paying $60, you could probably get both of the games, like the first 2 for $20 probably.
Yeah.
On Steam. Sticking with September 13th, The Witness is coming out for the Xbox One. I didn't realize this game would be coming out to the Xbox One already.
Yeah, didn't Jonathan Blow have some issue with Microsoft or something like that?
Yeah, no, he doesn't particularly care for Microsoft or whatever his exact words were.
Yeah, it was with Braid. Something happened with Braid. But
money is money.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly right.
I wasn't huge on The Witness. I know a lot of people were. Just don't like puzzle games, so. But it's cool for the people on the Xbox One who don't have a PlayStation 4 are gonna get a chance to experience this game. Next, I have NHL 17. I didn't take down any notes because it's all the same stuff every year. Like, oh, they're enhancing goalie play and AI and passing. And the physics engine. It's all the same stuff, so I didn't bother reading too much into it. I do know that they are doing unique arenas, though.
Who cares?
Which I thought they already did that, but turns out I was wrong.
You're just kind of like looking down at the ice, right?
Yeah, you can't really tell.
I've never cared about any of that stuff in my hockey games.
Yeah.
I just want the players to be there, all the teams, all the players, and it be a good hockey game.
A fun hockey game.
Yeah. That's all.
You know how I've talked about how I don't really get angry at video games anymore?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get gamer rage. Boy, you should see me when I play NHL 16 with my friends. And I'm not winning. Because passing in the game is so bad. They try so hard to be realistic with it.
No, that's not fun.
It's not fun. Because you remember when we used to play, like, the passing percentages that we'd have would be, like, in the high 80s?
Yeah.
Like, every time. Now it's, like, 60.
Yeah.
45. It's stuff like that. And it's not fun. And it's not accurate. I think they need to implement a button that you click. They do this in the NBA games. But when you're, like, want to pass to a specific player, you press a button, and it brings up the prompts to which player you want to pass to.
Yeah.
I think that would be great, especially when you're on the power play and you're trying to set up plays and like you're going to pass it to the guy in the slot and it goes out to the defenseman.
And that always seems to happen most when you have like a good scoring opportunity. It never seems to happen when you don't. Or I mean, maybe that's just the optics of it. You just remember it when that's the case. But I don't know.
Well, even the illusion of like I might have a chance here, it doesn't even happen. But like when you're like, oh, I'm gonna score right here as soon as this pass gets through, and then it goes to the wrong person.
I think one of the games actually did have that, Will, where you could set up and then you'd click a bumper or something like that, and then all the icons would pop up underneath them.
Yeah, I forgot which one. It might have been the 2K hockey game.
I was gonna say, wasn't it one of the last 2K?
Yeah, there you go. Could be, yeah.
Which the NBA games are 2K that I'm referring to that have it. So I wonder, that's their thing of making it easier. But you'd think EA would be, smart enough to do something like that.
Right. I don't know. With me, it's just like they should come up with a different way to represent bad passing rather than missing your passes. Like maybe the receiving player just has to slow down a lot more or something.
Yeah.
Because like we said, it's just not fun to make a pass and just miss completely.
Yeah. And another thing with the game that sucks is the goalie. I don't know if you've tried controlling a goalie in the new games, but it's like controlling a brick wall. It's terrible.
It's like controlling the guy in QWOP.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Exactly like that. It moves so slow. There's no fluidity of him. He skates like an idiot with the puck, and like the passing with it is already bad. So add a goalie to it. It's awful.
Or like the Mount Your Friends guys.
Exactly. I have a lot of problems with the NHL game, but it's one that I just keep playing with my friends, and I hate that I keep playing it.
Yeah, and it's the one game that comes out every year that I'm like, man, I really need a console to play NHL. It's seriously, and as much as we bitch about it, it's always like the one game that I think about getting a console for.
Which is funny because all these huge like AAA blockbuster games are coming in. NHL is the one you want to get a console for.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like when you guys used to play NHL all the time. Like when you lived in the apartments, it's like now that's transitioning to like me and my friends. Yeah. We all just meet up and play it for like 3-4 hours.
Oh yeah.
And almost break out into fist fights. We actually bought a whiteboard and have it hanging on the wall with all the series. And, like I'm like one's like 7-8 and stuff like that. I'm winning 6-1.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I was playing it hardcore, but it sort of got to the point where I would just beat everybody except for my one friend.
Yeah.
We had like this constant rivalry, and it always got really heated. It's like,
okay, because
go ahead.
I was gonna say I have that same friend, but he gets so insanely lucky. Literally one game, he scored 3 goals from center ice where he just lifted the puck, like saucered it into the zone, and it hit my goalie. And because the goalies are so bad, they like hit it in themselves. And he scored 3 times. And like I'm yelling at the top of my lungs about how lucky he is, and he's like, "No, it's just skill." And it gets me so mad.
Yeah, that's bunk. It's an exploit.
Yeah, really, it is, and he knows how to do it, and he practices more than me, and I still can beat him.
NHL.
I could go on about that game, but moving on. Dead Rising Triple Pack. Now, this is the remastered version of the past 3 games for all current consoles. And I don't think Dead Rising 3 was on the PS4 until I think this game comes out. Am I right with that?
Yeah.
Correct? Okay, so yeah, it'll be making its PS4 debut then. Yeah, it's just going to be the games on the new consoles with 1080p, 60 frames per second. I liked Dead Rising 3 the most, and I didn't particularly care for the first 2. I liked the more, I guess, serious nature of Dead Rising 3. I don't know. I didn't like the jokiness of the first 2, I guess I can say. And then next, this is September 13th still, by the way, I have Recore. This is developed by Concept Games and Amateur Studios and published by Microsoft Studios. The plot for this one is that the first brave volunteers for the Far Eden colony, Joel Adams, wakes up after centuries in cryosleep to find that nothing has gone according to plan. With her trusty Corebot companion, Mac, Jewel begins her adventure in Far Eden to save mankind from a terrible fate. This is an action-adventure game. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like you got a gun and like you're fighting off like these robotic enemies and whatnot, and just like working your way through the story. There has been some gameplay, but I honestly haven't seen too much about it being described. I do know this is like this is a $40 game, and it's a Microsoft exclusive. But I think this is definitely going to be a buy for me and Eric. I'm pretty sure.
I've seen a lot of discussion around the $40 price point.
Hmm.
Where do you guys land on that? Do you think because it's a $40 game, they're just kind of saying like, oh, it's just an all right game?
No.
Not necessarily.
Like where do you think that price tag comes from then? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe they just, I don't know, because if you look at a game like No Man's Sky, like that was $60 and everybody didn't think it was worth it. I don't know.
And it should have been 20 and on early access.
I mean, yeah, like I don't know. I don't think a game needs to be $60 for it to be good. I don't know.
No, I mean I agree. That's not what I'm saying. I agree with you, but it's just it just seems weird for a game of this caliber to be priced at $40 like well in advance of its release, because we've known that that's the price for a while.
Maybe it's just not very long.
So it's a way to get out in front of that length.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people complain that a 6-hour game with no replayability is $60. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that might be their way to alleviate the concerns that people might have because of that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's probably the best.
I have no idea.
Explanation.
That's just a thought, you know.
Well, here you go. A quick Google search returned this. According to armature producer Mark Pacini, the game's in-between pricing scheme represents a deliberate attempt by Microsoft to create a new kind of appeal. One of the things we're trying to do is reach a broad audience, Pacini says. I think that coupled with the Xbox Anywhere initiative, this price is a great way to get into more people's hands. We feel that it's a great value.
Sure.
I think that's a good thought, but I mean, it's been so long since I walked into a GameSpot and like window shopped. I honestly, maybe I've never done that. And I don't think a lot of people do. Like, do you think people will just... Do people buy games that way? Like, look at a store and say, oh, this one's only $40. I'll get this one.
Well,
it's hard for us because we're in the gaming sphere. For people who, like, are parents going to look for a game for their kid, maybe. Like, go in and see that.
That, and, you know, if it ends up coming out and getting good reviews, someone who maybe, you know, that's not their type of game necessarily will say, oh, it's $40. It's well reviewed. You know, I'll pull the trigger on it and try something different.
I guess the best way I would see it working is like if somebody comes to me and says, hey, you know, I like these kind of games. What can I get? And if I know that like Recore is a good game, I could say, hey, grab Recore. It's inexpensive. It's new. It's cheap, and it's a good game. I could see it working like that.
And hey, if it tanks, it'll be really cheap, like sooner.
Yeah, it'll be even cheaper.
I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see how this game works. We're less than a month out from it, so pretty soon we'll find out how it is.
I'm interested in it too, but I'm going to wait for hopeful Steam release. Since Quantum Break already made its way to Steam, and this one seems like it could come to Steam, so.
I mean, why not? You think they're going to release on Steam quicker than they did with Quantum Break?
Maybe not, but I'm willing to wait so I don't have to buy any games on the Windows Store.
There's too many different stores for different games that we want to play.
Yep.
What game are we still holding out for, Dan, for a Steam release? Isn't there one we've been talking about for years?
Destiny
would be nice. Any of the Microsoft games, like any of the Halo games, I would buy in a heartbeat if they went on Steam. Any of them, even the first one, not remastered, I would buy in a split second.
I got a news bit about that. We'll get into.
I was hoping somebody got that.
Yeah.
Any of the Gears of War games too, I would buy in a split second. If and when they go on Steam.
I'm honestly kind of surprised Destiny hasn't made its way to the PC yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why it hasn't.
It seems weird.
Oh,
Maybe
I
it's
guess
the type of thing where Maybe that's they're waiting for it to be like content complete, like when they're done updating it and stuff, and then they'll, just port it to PC and it'll be done
Yeah.
while they work on the next one.
I actually read that the next one's supposed to be out as early as next year, even,
Jeez.
which is pretty quick, especially because the Rise of Iron expansion's coming out.
Yeah.
Okay, so next is September 15th, Persona 5. Now, this is the Japanese release date for it, so it will not be coming to the United States yet. The United States release date is...
Delayed, right?
It got delayed, I want to say... Here, let me get it up so I have it for sure. February 14th.
Okay.
So, a couple month wait there. To be honest with you, though, I know very little about the Persona games. I think I'm gonna try going in blind with it. I don't know. I like playing JRPGs and not having literally any experience with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that, Will. People speak so highly of Persona, though. I feel like I owe it to the series to play some of the older ones before I play this one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I also it's not my style of JRPG. I'm into more like the fantasy settings.
Yeah, this is more like real world, right?
Yeah, I'm not as into that.
I mean, yeah, now that I think about it, all the JRPGs that I played are all like the high fantasy and stuff like that, and
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
Yeah.
Because I did play some Star Ocean and whatnot. Moving on. September 20th, NBA 2K17. I got the sports month.
Lucky
Once
you.
again, I wrote down nothing because it's all usually the same stuff, but I can confirm Spike Lee will not be writing the main story.
So
There is a story element. We don't know what it is yet.
Huh. Be cool if it's the same story, just slightly tweaked.
It could be.
It's the same story as the last one, but this time it has dribble tech in it.
Dribble tech.
The borrowed EA system.
Oh yeah, I forgot that this is 2K and not EA.
Yeah. Dribble tech. Now, the story for the last NBA it's pretty interesting because I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago, but I was playing it and like my best friend from back in the day like got killed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like I got arrested. I don't remember what happened, but like I had to like do interviews about it and I'm like I just want to play the Cavs.
Yeah. Which is all you really wanted to do.
Yeah, and I know FIFA is adopting the story mode now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're gonna have more of that.
I don't know. I'm holding out hope. I still think something like this could be good in a sports game. It just has yet to be done well.
Yeah, but don't you want to play as you and not?
I think you can do both.
Because I thought the FIFA was like Alex Hunter or whatever, and in NBA you can be whoever.
Yeah, but I think that's what I'm saying. I think a story mode where you play as you could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just have it be like Saints Row, the Saints Row game, where you can pick a bunch of different voices for your voice actor and kind of try to match it up with who you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. Well, we'll get to a more interesting game. Destiny, Rise of the Iron. Now, this is I'm pretty sure it's the last expansion to the Destiny universe. But it features a whole new cinematic story campaign set within the Plaguelands, which is a brand new location on Earth. Now you're fighting this new faction of fallen devils and splicers, which I don't know what any of that is because I haven't played Destiny in probably 7-8 months. But they're going to be adding new strikes, new zones, new crucible modes, new bosses, enemy factions, new raid gear, maximum light increase, all that stuff that people love about Destiny. It looks pretty cool, too. To be honest, Destiny is a game that I think at this point is one of the better games that you can go out and get. Because all of the content issues that they had with it that's all been filled with stuff. Granted, it took like 2 years for it to happen, but there's a lot to this game now, and I honestly think it would be worth picking up for people who are interested in it. It's definitely less grindy than it was too.
Yeah, I'd be in. Like we just said, if we could get it on PC, I'd love to play it.
Mm-hmm. I gotta get a price point for this because I'm not exactly sure. I think it's $40. I think that's what the last one was. Destiny: Rise of Iron. It's 30. So I guess for all that stuff, that's not bad. And you can get the Taken King for. Actually, no, they have the collection with all the DLC for $60, so you'd be paying $80.
Huh?
So. Moving on. September 27th, Darkest Dungeon, PS4, PS Vita release. We've talked about Darkest Dungeon a bunch. I don't know. I don't really need to say too much about it.
Still hoping for a Android version.
Yeah, it hasn't been released on.
It's a game that would do really well on mobile.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not on mobile yet.
Work well on mobile anyway.
Yeah. It's not even on iOS or anything?
No.
Gotcha. I guess if it does come, it'll be after the PS4 version.
Yeah.
FIFA 17. We talked a little bit about it with its story mode. Eric is the resident FIFA fan. I know very little about it and haven't bought one of the games in a while. Next is XCOM 2. It's the console port to the PC version. Haven't returned to XCOM since its release because of all the technical issues that it had.
And it's a terrible game.
Is it, though?
I didn't think it was.
It's not terrible. I just didn't like it.
You think it's up for biggest disappointment?
No, only because I wasn't all that excited about it. That runway from announcement to release was pretty short, wasn't it?
I think it was announced for a little bit, but didn't get a release date until fairly close to its actual release date, I want to say.
Yeah. I don't know. If you want our thoughts on that, tune in. We did an episode on it, right? Earlier this year. Yeah.
And then we talked about it for the next 3 episodes, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to try and get back to it before the end of the year, but I really don't think I'll be able to because I'm going to be pretty busy here soon. Next is Forza Horizon 3. This is developed by Playground Games and published by Microsoft Studios. It takes place in Australia, and apparently the map is twice as big as Forza Horizon 2, which is pretty large. Forza Horizon games have always, had pretty large maps to drive around. So that's going to be a pretty big map. And some of the gameplay with it was pretty cool, if you guys remember any of it from the E3 presentation with Microsoft. Yeah. A lot of jungle kind of riding and dune buggy sort of vehicles, which is all pretty cool. The game features cross-platform play and will have over 350 cars present at launch. So you're going to be able to play with people on PC. And then the last Horizon games had the player control one of the racers of the Horizon Fest, but this time the player is the boss and can fire and hire racers, which is pretty cool, on top of being able to already continue racing. And another cool thing is that the players can organize and make custom racetracks around the game's map. So basically, anywhere you want to go, you can make a racetrack out of it.
Cool.
This is a game that I'm kind of underratedly excited for. I liked Forza Horizon 2 a bunch. I didn't play a ton of it, but I really liked it every time I did play it. And I'm hoping maybe this time I can really.
That's how I feel though. If I did buy it, I would just play it every now and again, and probably enjoy it. But there wouldn't be anything calling me to keep playing it,
Yeah, it's kind of one of those games for me that you just kind of sit down and drive a little bit when you kind of don't want to. It's kind of mindless, I guess you can say.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's the perfect game for my perfect life experience, which is getting an arcade cabinet with a racing game with the kegerator on the back
Yeah.
with a tap by the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would just do that for hours.
Drink and drive.
Yep.
In Australia.
I'd be an alcoholic because of that situation. But that's what I'm striving for in my life, is to have that setup. So
That would be a lot of fun.
life goals.
We can get you there once this podcast takes off.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I had the last 3 games that were announced this month. Demon Gaze 2, Azure Striker Gunvolt 2, and Yokai Watch 2.
Meh.
I know Yokai Watch is pretty big in Japan.
Yeah.
I know nothing about it.
Not so
but,
big over here.
Yeah, I don't think it... Because the first one came out, not too long ago, like a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Over here, yeah.
Because I remember Dan covering it last year. But that's a level 5 game, which I think they did Fantasy Life, which I'm a fan of. But that's it for me.
Okay. October next. Starting with October 4th, Warhammer End Times Vermintide is coming out for the PS4 and Xbox One. That's, of course, already on PC. That's the Horde mode kind of Warhammer game.
Mm-hmm.
And one that I'm interested in, but that's one I think I would need to have friends to play with to have it be fun. You know?
Yeah.
October 7th, Mafia 3 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Mafia 3 was developed by Hangar 13 and published by 2K Games. It's Hangar 13's first game. They're headed by Hayden Blackman, formerly of LucasArts. It's set in 1968 New Bordeaux, which is a fictional New Orleans, and follows Lincoln Clay, who's an orphan and a Vietnam War veteran. He is on a quest to build a new crime organization to confront the Italian mob.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, I don't. I have Mafia 2, but I never played it. But yeah, people seem to be really excited for Mafia 3 from what they've heard about it.
Yep.
So
I know Eric's really excited for this game.
yeah, I'm interested, but it's not going to be a buy right away. I don't think. That'll be a wait for me, I think. So. Yeah, that's October 7th. Also October 7th, Paper Mario Color Splash.
Woo!
Developed by Intelligent Systems and published by Nintendo. This is the one that was harshly criticized by fans of the series for staying the course too much of Sticker Star, deviating too much from the RPG elements of the first 2 games in the series. So I thought some of the criticisms was unnecessarily harsh, but that's also kind of one of my criticisms of the Paper Mario series, I guess.
Yeah.
I was hanging out with some people over the weekend who are like casual gamers, played when they were like in high school and college, but haven't played since. And they were saying, they're like, you know what I really want to play is Paper Mario. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, you know, they put out a couple since the original.
Yeah.
Was it 64? Was the first Nintendo 64?
That was story out.
But
Wow.
I didn't want to tell them that they're not worth playing, too. So
Out of everything that's come out, they picked Paper Mario.
yeah, I don't know. I guess this is one of those games that they look back fondly on, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about the first one and the 1,000-Year Door. I don't believe I think I played a little bit of the first one, just a teeny little bit.
Yeah.
I remember watching somebody play one of the Paper Mario games. I just don't remember which one.
Yeah. October 11th, Dragon Quest Builders for PS4 and PS Vita. It's a Dragon Quest game that's kind of mixed with Minecraft a little bit.
Will,
Yeah, I'm here.
did we lose Dan?
Sounds like it.
Am I out?
Oh, you're back.
Dan, you're back.
Okay. No, I was just talking about Dragon Quest Builders.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest mixed with Minecraft. Like I said, my internet has been terrible the past probably 2 weeks.
I've also heard really good things about this.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
PS4, PS Vita. I don't know.
Apparently works really well. The formula sounds a little contrived, but I would guess it's a lot of fun. So
Okay.
it's one to keep an eye on, I think.
Nice. Also on October 11th, Gears of War 4 for PC and Xbox One.
All right.
Here, developed by the Coalition and published by Microsoft Studios, takes place 25 years after the Emulsion was destroyed on the planet Sarah. Follows JD Phoenix, who is the son of Marcus Phoenix and Anya, and his friends as they deal with a new threat to humanity. It will run at 30 frames per second in single player and 60 frames per second in multiplayer, and will feature dynamic scaling of the resolution to maintain consistent frame rates. It's one that will also be available in the Windows Store as an Xbox Play Anywhere game. So
Dynamic scaling of the resolution?
yeah, it changes the resolution based on what's happening on screen to maintain the frame rate.
What?
Yeah,
How does that work?
Interesting.
I don't know.
Is that a new thing? Do other games do that?
I'm sure other games do that, but yeah, Gears of War 4 made it a point to say that would help it maintain a consistent frame rate.
I mean, I like the idea of it on paper.
Yeah, if it works, that's right.
Is it like a scripted thing, or does it just, like, if things start getting crazy, there's this tech built into it that can activate based on...
Yeah, I mean, it might know, like, I got the impression that it was for the single player, so it might know, like, oh, you're headed into a battle-heavy area with lots of stuff going on the screen, and it downscales the resolution and then upscales it to 1080p.
Oh, okay.
So it'll still, like, be quote-unquote 1080p, but it's a lower resolution upscaled to 1080p to save on the frame rate.
Gotcha.
So
Interesting.
but I'm pretty sure the PC version has, like, unlimited frame potential based on your hardware. So I think that's only for the Xbox One version.
200 frames per second.
Some people swear, like, I've only taken up 60 frames per second as my target, and now when I play games at 30 frames per second, it feels horrible. But I guess the higher you go, it's hard to go back down to even like 60 frames per second.
Chasing the dragon.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of that, but I actually watched a video of a guy who was picking out, was it 120, 144? What was the other one? It was like 130 frames per second. So he had like a randomizer on his monitor that would lock the frame rates, and then he would, like, he would hit that with his eyes closed or a blindfold on, hit it a random amount of times, and then he'd, like, it was 60, 120, and 144.
You'd nail it.
He'd nail it every time. He knew exactly. He was like a professional Counter-Strike player or something like that. So it probably wasn't just the look of it, but the feel of it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess if you go higher than even 60, it's hard to go back down to 60.
Huh.
What I hear. Someday I'll have a monitor that can do higher frame rates. Also on October 11th, Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration for PS4. That's the Rise of the Tomb Raider. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That comes with all the DLC and stuff too, in one neat package. So that's a good one. We've all talked about it at length. I think we all are big fans of the new Rise of the Tomb Raider game. So
For sure.
don't need to talk too much more about that. Also, October 11th, WWE 2K17 for PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One. I don't think any of us have any interest in that, right?
How dare you?
I was going to look into it, but I was like, why bother? None of us like wrestling. None of us. Eric tried the WWE. Was it 2K16? I like it very much. So.
Yeah.
October 13th, and I forgot to look this up, but there's a bunch of PlayStation VR games coming out, so I'm assuming that's the launch day for PSVR.
I believe so.
Okay, so we've got Drive Club VR, PlayStation VR Worlds, Res Infinite Roller Coaster Dreams, and Thumper, all coming out for PSVR. Some are for Res Infinite Roller Coaster Dreams are for PS4 and PlayStation VR, and then Thumper is for PC, PS4, and PlayStation VR.
What?
Yeah.
Huh.
I didn't really look into those, but
I'm sure we'll know more with Sony's event in September.
I guess they're supposed to announce the new systems, and then and then the PS have more information at least on the PSVR.
Yeah. Well, I
Did-
would hope there's more information on the PSVR, considering they didn't even touch on it at E3.
Right. I was going to say, was there even a specific launch date for it, or is it just
I think it's always been October 13th. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's been known for a while.
Did they do the price too? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It's 400, right?
Yeah, I don't remember, but I know that's all been announced. I don't think they announced any packages.
Oh, that's like a bundle.
Yeah, but I can't remember. Again, like they've been so wishy-washy on the whole thing. I don't know. There's not very many specifics.
They're taking too many cues from Nintendo.
Maybe it scares me a little bit because maybe they don't have any faith in it.
Well, that would be Sony's way. I mean, both their handhelds were good devices. They just never supported them really, you know.
Right.
October 14th, Disney Magical World 2 for the 3DS. Didn't look into that. Sorry, guys.
It's all right, Dan.
I was
Google it.
actually hoping you brought it up.
October 16th, Skylanders Imaginators for PS3, PS4, Wii U, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. It was developed by Toys for Bob and published by Activision. The newest edition is Imaginators, which are characters created by the player. At the beginning of the game, players can select a battle class and elemental class, which determines their fighting style. Afterwards, players can customize the names, voices, powers, appearances, colors, and sizes of their Imaginators. For players who do not wish to create a new character, they can use a mechanic that automatically generates an Imaginator randomly or use any existing Skylanders featured in the predecessors. Sounds neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're into that,
Yeah.
you nerd.
Create your own Skylander.
Yeah.
I wonder how robust the creation tools are, because you could probably get some pretty cool Pokemon Pokemon.
Dan.
I was gonna say Pokemon like Skylanders, but if you have a lot of creation tools, so I'll be interested to see how that turns out.
Do they have functionality between Amiibo and the Skylanders stuff?
Just for the Wii U.
Just for the Wii U?
Yeah, there's a Donkey Kong and a Bowser Amiibo Skylander
Oh, okay.
that can be used for both.
Gotcha.
We have the Donkey Kong one actually. We've been wanting to get the Bowser one, but I just kind of forgot about it. October 18th, Crazy Machines 3 for Windows PC. Don't know. Also on the 18th, Eagle Flight for Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
You guys remember Eagle Flight?
Hell yeah.
I do.
Was that Ubisoft?
Yep.
That was silly.
I think that's our game of the year.
Game of the year, Eagle Flight. I think it's it's also getting a PSVR release.
Yes. November 8th.
Okay, yeah, because you have November.
Yeah.
That was the one. If you don't remember, it's where you play. Was it like a tag-like game with eagles in VR?
Capture the flag.
Yeah, capture the flag. That's right. Yeah, you have to capture the flag and take it back to your nest or whatever. It's the one where they were zooming in and out of the tree branches and over and under ruins and stuff. I mean, it looked like it would be fun, but fun for like an hour,
Yeah.
that type of thing. Also on October 18th, Exist Archive, The Other Side of the Sky for PS4, PS Vita. Also on the 18th, Super Dimension Neptune versus Sega Hard Girls for PS Vita.
Yeah.
Will, you gonna get that one?
For sure. I've got my Vita sitting right here.
I was gonna say, I keep forgetting you have a Vita.
I do too, actually.
You have 2 Vitas?
No, I keep I'm forgetting as well.
Forget you have it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
October 20th, Macross Delta Scramble for PS Vita. Yep. October 21st, Battlefield 1 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Battlefield 1 is developed by DICE and published by Electronic Arts. Set in World War One. That's all the notes I took. I figured we would discuss Battlefield 1 a little bit.
Yeah. I'm really excited for this game, more so than any shooter of recent history.
Yeah. I just really hope the campaign's good.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Multiplayer, is something I'll only play for a little bit. But if it has a good campaign, like some of the more story-driven first-person shooters that I like, it'll have a lot more longevity for me. Although I don't know if I'm going to be getting it right away.
You would get it on PC, correct?
PC. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because there's another game that I probably want more coming out the same day.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Oh.
No, Dan.
Also on October 21st, Civilization 6.
Yeah, you're right.
For PC.
That's a big day.
That would take precedence over Battlefield 1. It'll depend on the funds, but I would definitely get Civ 6 over Battlefield 1. So Civ 6 is developed by Firaxis Games and published by 2K Games. Two main additions to the new game, the first being multiple tiled cities, where cities can be divided into districts over several different hexes. They use the example of you could have a hex be your military district, and you get military bonuses on that. If you put your military buildings on there, you get production bonuses and that sort of thing. Or if you have university district, I guess, as part of your city, and you put it on a jungle or a forest, you're going to get bonuses from that. Seems like a neat idea, I guess, to alleviate some of the space concerns that could cause. They're going to have a little bit of unit stacking, Corey.
All right.
No.
Stacks of Doom coming back.
I don't think you can stack. Wow. They explained it. It didn't sound too bad. Not like a stack of Doom type of thing, but maybe a cavalry and infantry you can stack two on the same tile.
That would make sense. Make it into an army.
Yeah. So, and then the second is that the tech tree has been reworked so that there's not one specific way to play the early game to get a leg up on your competition. In the other ones, there was certain techs that you could go for that would give you a huge advantage if you made a beeline towards them right away.
It's like a build order kind of thing. This is the most effective way to do this.
Yeah. Which, I'm sure this system will be whittled down to that at some point too, but I hope it maybe takes a little bit longer, or maybe not. Maybe there really will be multiple ways you could play the early game. That's my hope anyway.
That would be nice.
Yeah. October 25th, Dragon Ball PS4 and Xbox One. That obviously is the Dragon Ball Z fighter game.
What's it called again, Dan?
Xenoverse 2.
Oh.
I've been wanting to get the first Xenoverse just because of my history with Dragon Ball. DBZ.
I miss DBZ.
You watch the new show. It's pretty good.
I already started one anime this week, Corey. I can't do another one.
Dragon Ball Super. What'd you start, Will?
I'll talk about it in our weeks. It's nothing special, but
am I gonna be excited?
No, you're probably gonna be like, ugh.
Oh.
It's the Pretty Little Liars Japanese anime.
I'd watch that Japanese anime. I guess things are getting real in PLL right now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, mid-season finale next week.
Oh.
Ren Kingston's coming back. Anyway.
Huh? Also on the 25th, Just Dance 2017 for PC, PS3, PS4, Wii U, Wii, Xbox 360, and Xbox One.
Just Dance?
Just Dance. Yep. Also on the 25th, The Last Guardian for PS4. Finally. Assuming there's no delays.
I don't know where to begin with this game.
At least you don't have to pay full price for it, right?
Oh, is it only 40?
No, I think you and Eric will split it, right?
Yeah, no. Me and Eric will definitely split it.
Yeah.
What do you guys think the review scores for this game are going to be?
7. It'll be average.
Which game?
Yeah. Last Guardian.
Oh, yeah.
Average, right?
I mean, I want it to be really, really good.
Definitely average.
Yeah. That's what I think, too. I want it to be, too, but...
Too much hype on it.
Yeah.
Sony does this to get the big hyped games, and they are average.
We'll see, won't we?
Yeah.
October 25th. Also on the 25th, World of Final Fantasy for PS4 and PS Vita. Meh. I feel like this fall games preview more than any others has less interesting, some minor games that when I did this research or whatever, I always felt like in the past there was like 3 or 4 games that I was like, oh, that sounds really cool, and there just wasn't that this time around. You know,
I think with World of Final Fantasy, I'm gonna wait and see how reviews are for it because I'm a sucker for Final Fantasy stuff.
Sure.
So maybe it'll be all right.
Yeah. I mean, I'll never forget the reveal for, was it at E3, not this year, but last year, and the Final Fantasy thing came up and people got all excited, and it was this game.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
That's always going to be my impression of World of Final Fantasy.
And then they proceeded to reveal
Yeah.
the biggest one.
The big cheese. Also, October 25th, Yomawari, Night Alone for PC and PS Vita. I don't know anything about that other than it's a survival horror game.
Yomawari?
Yep,
Yomawari.
Night Alone.
Ooh. Looks like
It's like
Don't
a solid-
Starve.
Looks like a solid Vita hit.
October 27th, Japan only release for Berserk, PS3, PS4, Vita. Also on the 27th, Japan only, Crow's Burning Edge, PS4, and Neo Atlas 1469 for PS Vita on the 27th.
All right.
You guys aren't excited for Berserk?
It's Japan only,
What?
but I figured I'd cover it for our Japanese listeners.
I mean, I'm waiting for Dynasty Warriors 10, not Berserk.
Do we have Japanese listeners?
No.
I don't know. No one that's interacted with us anyway, that I'm aware of.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah. October 28th, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for PC. Also on the 20th, Titanfall 2 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Titanfall 2 is developed by Respawn Entertainment and published by Electronic Arts. It's Titanfall. You know, it's got the whole tagline: revamped weapons, more mechs, more weapons, more yada yada. But they are adding a single player campaign, which I think is good. So that's one I may get on a sale at some point. Because if I get a first-person shooter in the fall, it's going to be Battlefield 1. And then go ahead.
Titanfall was your game, though.
I really enjoyed Titanfall. I did for about a month. That's how long I enjoy multiplayer first-person shooters for, and then I get bored and move on. So
out of every shooter, you pick Battlefield 1, right? Out of all of them?
Yeah, just because of the setting.
Gotcha.
Tickled with the World War I setting.
Japan is 15th for us, for listeners.
15th ranked?
Yeah. Sandwiched between Luxembourg has more. Ireland has less.
Wow.
Luxembourg's a country?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
The Duchy of Luxembourg.
Oh, I thought it was a city inside one of those.
Very small country.
Gotcha.
Very small. October 28th, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition.
Yeah.
Skyrim. There's a lot of people looking forward to that, as well they should be. I've been saying for years they should put it on the new gen systems. So here it is. Updated visuals, better frame rates. It comes with all the DLC, right? I meant to look it up and I forgot. And then if you own the PC version with all the DLC, it's a free download. So that's also awesome. Because as much as I like having mods, if you don't have to mod a game, it's nice.
People are going to mod it anyway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're going to make it look even better. But It's less taxing on your system to just run the game natively. Generally speaking, of course. So that's all I got. What do you got, Corey?
Oh boy, we're already into November, eh?
Yeah.
Well, let's lead off November with the big hitter. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare comes out November 4th for the Xbox One, PS4, and PC. It's an Infinity Ward joint. Infinity Ward's back on the beat, Will.
Back in the rotation, huh?
Yep, for their new 3-year cycle thing. I guess they were doing 2 years before.
Yeah, I believe next is Sledgehammer.
Okay. All right. Who does the other?
Treyarch.
That's right. Didn't one of them get booted?
Infinity Ward had some issues after, I think, MW 2 and 3.
Oh, the whole Vince Zampella thing.
Yeah, and then they did Ghost, and that was like not received well, and all that stuff.
And then most of those guys started Respawn.
Yep. And we have Titanfall out of it.
We do have Titanfall. So the setup for this one is that it's in the distant future, and it's a battle over the solar system. So Earth is stripped of its natural resources, and they have a bunch of colonies in the solar system that provide them with the mining and all that good stuff. So the United Nations Space Alliance is running the show on Earth, but there's these antagonists called the Solar Defense Front, which are sort of taking control of all these solar system colonies. So you're tasked as Nick Reyes, captain of the Special Combat Air Recon. You're tasked with stopping these bad guys by traveling the solar system and taking care of business. It's a pretty interesting setup. There's been a lot of controversy. People were not happy with the reveal. I think it was the reveal trailer. And it was actually the second most downvoted video of all time on YouTube.
Which is quite the accomplishment.
Yes, very impressive. And it was also the most downvoted YouTube trailer of all time. So,
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I know. But people were worried that the game, based on its setting, would stray too far from its core gameplay. So some of the things they talked about are the zero-G combat and zero gravity, and also the Jackal, which is that jet fighter that we saw in some of the gameplay and stuff. So the game's head of narrative, I was reading an interview today, said that the Jackal stuff isn't on rails. It's not a one-off. It's a big part of the game, and it's actually meant to mimic the gameplay of the Avatar in the way it moves, aims, and shoots. So even though you're in a spaceship, it still feels familiar to people who have been playing on the ground Call of Duty all these years, which I think is a smart move. But they did say that the ground combat is still the primary mode of conflict. And the transition between the aerial stuff and the Jackal and ground combat is seamless. I don't know how that will play out in multiplayer or if it will, but it'll be interesting to see.
I kind of feel bad for Call of Duty at this point because it's the damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Like, people have been wanting a change.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
They change it, and people, it's the most hated or most downvoted, one of the most downvoted videos on YouTube,
But it's also, I agree with you 100%, but it's also the most upvoted trailer of theirs. Reveal trailer of theirs. So you're right. It's this
Are
weird.
you serious?
Yeah, it's this weird schism between the two factions. I happen to fall on the side of somebody who wanted something different, and this game sounds awesome to me.
Yeah. Well, I remember was it during the PS4 conference at E3 when they showed it? I was like, wow, this game looks really cool.
Yeah.
And then it being the new Call of Duty, I'm like, oh, dang it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all about it.
It was so awesome that we.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Corey.
No, I'm just saying I'm all about it. This whole travel the solar system and take out these criminals, I think, is a really cool concept. And I mean, it looks beautiful. It'll play beautiful. That's almost a guarantee at this point from Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. So I'm all about it. Will, did you have something to add?
I was gonna say, yeah, it looked so awesome that we all thought it was a different game.
Yeah,
I didn't. I actually knew, but
I was
No,
legitimately
you,
shocked.
I
Saw
did.
that it was Call of Duty.
no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
We all thought it was a different game.
You guys were texting in the chat like, "What is this?" And I said, "Call of Duty."
Oh, that's right. I thought you were kidding when you said that.
No.
We all thought you were joking.
Really?
Okay. Yeah.
It's
That's why we didn't.
It's COD, man.
You know what I would like actually for Call of Duty to do is if I could buy just the campaign for like $20,
Yeah,
because I will literally never play the online.
yeah.
If I could buy the campaign for $20, I would be one happy camper.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That'll never happen, but that
No,
would be nice.
sure.
They're gonna start taking the campaign out, is my guess.
Yeah, the campaign
They-
will be DLC.
I mean, that's what they did with Black Ops 3 on the old consoles.
$15 DLC for the campaign.
Yeah.
So if you pre-order the Legacy Digital Deluxe or Legacy Pro version of the game, you get a free copy of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered. Good for you. Those are all more expensive tiers than the main game. If you just buy the $60 game, you're not getting the remaster. So be wary of that. And if that doesn't allay your fears, Game Informer named it their best shooter of E3. So there you go. And one thing I want to do with this preview, I listened to the Film Spotting podcast, and instead of like just running, they did their fall movies preview, and instead of just running through all the movies and just listing them off and talking a little bit about them, they did their preview in like top 5 form of like questions. Like, oh, will the new such and such movie redeem so and so's career? That's how they previewed the fall stuff. So what I tried to do is at the end of all these games ask the big question regarding the game. So for me, the big question of Call of Duty is, will the most controversial Call of Duty of all time, arguably of all time, satiate the most fervent Call of Duty fans? What do you guys think?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I'm gonna say no,
No.
and I really don't have a reason to think that. I just kind of have a feeling.
Yeah.
I feel like this game will get reviewed great by critics and not by fans.
It'll have like it'll be the Steam review that's a 50 or 55.
Yeah.
Like some other games currently.
I don't see that happening. I really
No.
don't.
For this game?
Yeah, I mean, the Call of Duty is just always good. Whether you like, I mean, you might not like that game, but it's always, well, a good package, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's why I think that the critics are gonna think this game's amazing, and
Oh, yeah.
the
User
fans
score, okay.
will hate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, it's the silent majority versus the vocal minority, and I mean, the minority, at least it seems like the minority of people were very vocal regarding
trailer?
the reveal trailer. So we'll see.
The
See
type
what
of person
happens.
that makes a bunch of Gmail accounts so they could repeatedly downvote the video.
Yeah.
All their different accounts.
And starts change.org petitions to get corporations to do what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much effort for that.
It really is. So that's Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I'm excited. Also, November 4th, Football Manager 17. It's a football management sim for PC. I'm not going to get into depth about it. Mario Party Star Rush is the other November 4th release for the 3DS. It's a party game developed by ND Cube, who made the last few Mario Parties. There's not too much to talk about with this, but I did think it was interesting. Though they sort of changed how Mario Party works in this game. Everybody takes their turn at the same time in Star Rush. So everybody rolls their dice at the same time, and you, instead of moving down like a game board path, you're just on a landscape of tiles, and you just kind of go in whatever direction you want. So there's no like waiting around for your turn, which I thought was a pretty interesting change.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the main game mode. It's called Toad Scramble. You can only play as Toad, which kind of sucks, but you do recruit the recognizable Mario characters along the way. So yeah, you just kind of set your own path and objectives for winning. You choose like, oh, maybe I'll go to the browser tile now, if that plays into your best interests. I'm not sure how the hierarchy works though, like if who lands on which tiles and which order they resolve and stuff like that. I'd be interested to see how all that works out.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys saw this. I didn't until today when I was reading about it. The original box art for the game was recycled from a SpaghettiOs can, an old Nintendo SpaghettiOs can promotional image. Yeah.
That's funny.
They ended up redoing it, but yeah, when they first revealed the box art, there's this whole thing. It was really funny.
Is that what? Did you see that in Kotaku or something?
I don't think Kotaku covered it. I don't know. It's just in my Google searches. That was one of the. If you type it in Mario Party Star Rush into news and do a news search, you'll find it.
Mario Party Star Rush.
But yeah, like this is the second Mario Party to be on 3DS or on handheld. But I just I don't know. As somebody who used to love sitting around with friends and playing the Mario parties on consoles, like, is it being on 3DS hinder it at all? You know? I don't know.
I don't know. I prefer these games being on Wii U usually.
Yeah, you want to sit down with people and play.
Exactly.
Like, how often do 4 people with 3DSs get together? Never?
Never.
Yeah.
I've never done it.
No. I mean, we're also in our 20s, but
And 30s.
That
hey,
doesn't mean anything.
yeah. Let me say it while I can still say it, Dan.
30s are not so bad.
Running out of time.
30s are not so bad. I've enjoyed my 30s thus far.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. I can't wait to be 50.
Mm.
They always say 50 the golden years. You know, 50 plus. That's when they say you're most happiest.
Well, that's because they're making the best of their advanced age.
Hey man, 50's the new 30.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I've been noticing that more so this recently. I mean, obviously that's the case. Like, medicine gets better and all that stuff. But I know personally 2 70-year-olds who do not seem 70 at all.
Yeah,
You know, they act and move like 50 somethings.
sure.
It's kind of weird
I want to be 98.
in running marathons.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
That's when I know I've made it.
Yeah.
Is it Dad who said that someone that's alive right now will live to see 200 or 150? Was it?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
High age.
it was something crazy.
Would you want to be alive that long?
If it was
It
if it was
depends.
quality life, I would. Like,
Yeah.
we're lucky that our hobbies kind of don't, the things we like to do don't require much out of us. You know,
Yeah.
as long as your hands work and stuff. Well, not even. You know, we'll get to a point where you can play video games without using your hands. But you know, if I could just sit in a chair and play video games from the time I'm like 60 to 90, 30 years of video games, that'd be all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, I'm
Yeah.
kind of looking forward to that. now that I say it out loud.
You can catch up.
Oh yeah, that'll be nice. Yeah, that's Mario Party Star Rush. November 8th, Cartoon Network Battle Crashers. That's one that suffered from my lack of time to prepare for this, so I just didn't look up anything about it. Eagle Flight, Dan talked a little bit about. That's also November 8th for PlayStation VR. Dishonored 2 comes out November 11th for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. It's an action-adventure stealth RPG thing from Arcane. The setup in this one, we talked about it in our 2016 games preview quite a bit, but the setup for this one takes place 15 years after the first game. The Empress is dethroned by an otherworldly usurper, and your job is to help get it back as the Empress herself, Emily Caldwin, who is a character in the first Dishonored, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then from after the prologue, you can choose to play as either Emily Caldwin or Corvo Atano, who is the main protagonist in the first game, right?
Yep.
And also Emily Caldwin's father and bodyguard. They have the same missions; they're just different, played from obviously the different perspectives of the two characters. They also have different sets of abilities, although from what I read, they sounded very similar. Like, Emily has her own version of Blink. It's called Far Reach, which is just Blink, pretty much.
But with a different name.
Yeah, and Corvo has a lot of his abilities from the first game. The developers said this one will be a little more challenging, and you can do it all stealth if you want. That's something a lot of people wanted. In most games, I feel like nowadays, most action-adventure games, people want to be able to all stealth it. Oh yeah, just going off that more challenging thing. One thing I thought was cool was this the blood flies, and I think they showed this in the E3 trailer. But if you leave a body out, it gets these bugs in it called blood flies, and they like lay eggs, and then blood flies can come out and attack you.
Sounds horrible.
Oh, Dan's watching baseball.
I'm not watching. I'm just keeping updated on the score.
You'll have to let me know.
8-4.
Good guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm watching it right now, actually.
All right. But anyway, the blood flies thing, it encourages you to hide the bodies, which is a element of stealth games I've always liked, but very rarely used.
Yeah.
You know, I always liked that idea, like, oh, I got to do something with this body, but most of the time in these games, I've never had to actually do that. Pretty much just leave them wherever, and it doesn't seem to matter. So this is more incentive to do that. There's also improved AI. Another thing I talked about at the top of the year. So the enemies are better at searching and understanding combat situations. Like if one character has range and the other doesn't, you know, the one who doesn't would go up to you, and the one who used range would know to like stay back and hit you with their ranged equipment. I personally wasn't impressed with the E3 showing for Dishonored 2. I don't know about you guys. I thought
it looked all right.
my main gripe was that I thought the animations looked real bad. Just all the stuff they were doing just didn't. The animations just pulled me right out of it. They were just so clunky. I don't know.
I mean, I'm excited for it. I don't know. I feel like it's more of a stylistic choice, Corey.
Yeah.
With animations, like, because I kind of felt that way about the first game too, a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I don't know. It's just something about it. Didn't do it for me. But who knows? We'll see.
I'm gonna play the first Dishonored again on PC. 'Cause I've heard it's a better game to play on PC, especially with the precision of the controls.
Yeah.
So
I was playing it for a bit on the PS4.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot, yeah. More than I did the first time.
Sure.
Yeah. So my question for Dishonored 2 is will it hit hard enough to earn a fully fledged trilogy?
Yeah.
It'll get a trilogy regardless, I think.
Yeah.
It has its almost like cult following,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. You know, fans that are really into the Dishonored.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll never be like
The Witcher.
Assassin's Creed or something like that, but
I mean, honestly, the first one is really well received. I'm pretty sure we're the only podcast that said it was just all right. Everybody else said it was amazing.
Dishonored?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We'll see. November 15th, Gran Turismo Sport for the PS4. It's Gran Turismo. I mean, I don't know. And nothing I read was super interesting. But if you're into racing games, then obviously that would be one you'd be into. Game I'm interested in, also November 15th, is Watch Dogs 2 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It's an open-world, action-adventure, third-person shooter, stealthy, genre-blending game. from Ubisoft Montreal. The setup for Watch Dogs 2 is it's set in a fictional universe of San Francisco. Includes the downtown area, the civic area, the coast area, Oakland, Marin, right?
Marin.
Marin? That doesn't sound
Marina.
right. It's Marin. I think it's Marin.
Marini.
And Silicon Valley are all the areas you can go to. So you control Marcus Holloway, who works for DedSec, a hacker group trying to take down the city's advanced surveillance system. Marcus Holloway is a do-gooder, I guess would be the best way to phrase it. I drew a lot of parallels with Mr. Robot. I don't know if you guys have seen any Mr. Robot, but
I want to.
that's kind of the vibe I got. In this one, driving was overhauled to make it a little easier. I didn't play the first one, so I don't have much context here, but driving was made easier. Marcus can parkour around the city, which seems to be a trend. You know, if you have an open world game, you got to get around quickly, so you got to parkour.
Ubisoft staple.
Yeah, Ubisoft staple. There's much more to hack. You can hack people's phones to make them panic. You can hack all cars, not just to set the alarms off like you could in the other one, but to activate the engines and drive them around remotely. You can also hack the surveillance profiles of NPCs to set their status to like wanted, so the police would show up and try to arrest them, and they could either take the arrest, depending on which NPC it is, they could take the arrest or resist arrest, which would lead to a full-on cops versus robbers shootout, which sounds pretty cool. I'm sure there's limits to that power, but that sounded pretty neat. You also have access to a small RC car and a flying drone to reach difficult locations and hack things remotely. It's also seamless co-op, which means when they say seamless, they mean no loading screens. I kind of remind me of The Division. I don't think there's loading screens in The Division. Is there, if you're switching between single player and co-op?
I don't remember.
Never really played it.
I just remember the co-op being very graceful in The Division. So, but what people worry about is like sabotage, like somebody coming into your game and sabotaging your whatever quest you're on or something like that. But what they did is they worked in a bounty system. So if somebody comes into your game and sabotages you, they get a bounty on their head. So when they're playing their campaign or whatever, and the police are after them, people can join the police in hunting them in their game. And if they kill that person, they get the bounty that's on their head.
That's pretty cool.
Which is pretty. I like that a lot. I think that's neat. But of course, I just worry that there's always going to be those players that just want to grief you, and they don't care about the consequences.
Sure.
But you're able to play offline if you want, so you don't really. It's not that big of a deal. I read an article from Tom's Hardware that reported from Gamescom that they were worried about the same repetitive gameplay loop from the first game. They felt like even though there were all these additional tools, what they saw, they were not convinced that it wouldn't suffer from the same issues as the first one. So, and they also wrote, quote, whereas the original Watch Dogs was more serious, Watch Dogs 2 is about all-out shenanigans and hooliganism. So it's sort of taking that open world stuff, sort of maybe the jump from like Saints Row 2 to Saints Row 3 kind of thing. Much less serious.
I'm all right with it.
Much more.
I'm all right with that.
Well, they pointed to the ability to take selfies. It's just like the dumbest, aspect.
It's a dumb
I'm
thing.
not buying this game.
It's a dumb thing in real life. It's even dumber in a video game.
Yeah. So I'm sort of just curious to see if Watch Dogs 2 can tap into current events in a meaningful way. There's a lot going on when it comes to mass surveillance.
There's a lot of cyber warfare between the United States and Russia nowadays too.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity there for them to explore some of that.
Sure.
We'll see if they actually do. I doubt it, but I think it would be nice if they did. Moving along, Planet Coaster comes out November 17th for Windows. It's a construction simulator by Frontier, which developed the previous Roller Coaster Tycoon. It is the spiritual successor to Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. It's been available in alpha for purchase for a while now. People seem to think it's pretty good. So if you're looking for a more modern Roller Coaster Tycoon, Planet Coaster seems to be your way in. I think there's a limit to the alpha, how long you can purchase it in alpha, and I think it might be up already. So you probably just have to wait for the full release, November 17th. November 18th is Killing Floor 2, a PC, Linux, PS4 first-person shooter by Tripwire Interactive. It's currently in early access. People seem to enjoy it. It seemed kind of blah to me. I don't know. I'm not into Killing Floor, so maybe it's just not for me. But the setup is that there's a zombie outbreak all across Europe. This one takes place a month after the first one. You can play it solo or with up to 6 players, or with up to 5. I think 6 total. You just fight wave after wave of zombies until boss fights, and then you fight the boss. And that's Killing Floor 2.
Does this remind you of Left 4 Dead, but less going out to try to get to the end of the map and more horde style?
I really don't know.
Okay.
It reminds me of another zombie party game. Zed. Is that what they call them? The zombies in Killing Floor? Zed?
Sure.
Yeah. But if you're not playing Killing Floor 2 on November 18th, maybe you're playing Pokemon Sun and Moon on November 18th.
I will be.
You will be?
Oh boy, will I be.
What if I still have your 3DS?
I gave you one job to get it back to me before Pokemon Sun and
Oh,
Moon.
yeah. I can do that. I'll do that for sure. This one takes place in the tropical islands of Alola, which are just based on Hawaii. And in fact, the Game Freak developers sent people to Hawaii for research. That sounds all right.
Yeah, that would be awesome, right?
Yeah, business trip to Hawaii. There are new Alola adaptation forms for older Pokemon. And the one I read was Executor can adapt to Alola by growing a longer neck and an extra head and resembling a palm tree. That sounds awesome.
If you look at it, it actually looks really dumb.
I know, it sounds really dumb.
I mean,
but hey, whatever.
No, because some of the other ones are really cool, like Marowak and Vulpix.
What do
and
they
all
do?
Of them.
Oh, I just picked the dumb one to...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You literally picked the
It's a
dumb
dumb
one.
It's what's that, confirmation bias or whatever? You look for the example that supports your opinions.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because like when Executor's on screen in his Alola form, like you can't even see his face because his neck is so long. Like on screen.
You see the bottom of the tree trunk?
Yeah.
All right.
But like Vulpix becomes like an ice fox, which is really cool looking.
Why does it become an ice fox? This is Hawaii.
I don't know. It changes form, Corey. God.
Okay.
Marowak becomes a ghost. And like it's the one that's got the bone in its hand that kind of like Darth Maul's lightsaber, sorta. It becomes like there's 2 fires at the end of each side of the bone, which looks pretty cool. There's a couple other ones. Raichu looks a lot cooler too.
Okay, cool. There's also something called Z moves, which are moves tied to Pokemon that can be used once per battle. And the one example I saw was Pikachu's Gigavolt Havoc. Did you see that?
Yes, Corey.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Gigavolt Havoc. You can also, this is new, choose your skin and hair color.
I'm pretty sure you could do that in X and Y.
I don't think so, Will. I think you need to do your Pokemon research. I think I know.
You could definitely customize in
Could you
X
choose
and
your
Y.
skin and hair color?
I think you could choose your hair color.
I don't know.
Hairstyle.
You could probably choose your style, but not color.
I'm pretty sure you can. Okay, whatever.
You want to bet?
Okay, hair color. Sorry, you were right.
I really don't know. I'm just going on the article that I read. They could be wrong. Also, some sort of readout appears after you fight a Pokemon for the first time that tells you what moves worked and which didn't in the past against them, which I thought was a good and meaningful improvement. There's something called the Pokemon Bank. Do you know anything about that?
You don't even really need that. If you know anything about Pokemon, you know what's effective and what's not.
Not everybody knows anything about Pokemon, Will.
Well, then they're stupid.
Well, whatever. The Pokemon Bank. Do you know anything about that?
Yes.
So you can if you own the digital versions of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, you can transfer them to Sun and Moon by using the Pokemon Bank Cloud Pokemon storage thing, which has a monthly fee attached to it. I don't know. How does that whole thing work?
I don't know. I never use it because there's a monthly fee.
I'm sorry, a yearly fee. $5 a year? Maybe it might be more or less. I don't know what the price is exactly. I'm sure there's restrictions in that. But why don't they just make it so every Pokemon you catch in every game goes to this Pokemon Bank? Or is that what it is?
I mean, you can send it there.
For every game?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Interesting. I like it.
I mean, ones that you can play on the 3DS, yeah.
So like the digital versions of all the games. So technically it would be all of them, right?
I mean, yeah, actually, because all of the ones that got released digitally, because like they remade all of the other ones. The only ones that I don't think you could were Blue and Red, because the Heart Gold and Soul Silver you can play on the 3DS because those are the new versions of the game.
Okay. Sounds good. Trials replace gyms. So each island has a captain on it. Each of these Alola islands has its own captain. That when you get to the captain sends you on a little RPG-style quest where you do a bunch of things, and then at the end of it, you battle the captain and win the totem Pokemon. It's just what I read. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just paraphrasing what I read. I don't know. They also have a battle royale mode, which is like a 4-player free-for-all. You attack whichever person you want, and when one person dies, the match is over, and they base the ranking, like first place, second place, third place, on how many Pokemon you killed or defeated, I should say, because nobody's killing Pokemon here. That's the direction they should have gone with Pokemon Uranium.
Isn't there a mature like Pokemon game out there? I thought that was it.
It's a little more mature. But
I could have sworn there was a Pokemon game for adults being developed.
I don't know. I don't know if that's something separate from Uranium or if that's... I don't know. They also have something called Poke Ride, which is like you can ride flying Pokemon. Is it like the Griffin Towers in EverQuest 2 where you just you can just ride the Pokemon to get from A to B quicker?
Yes.
Or is it like you can fly a Pokemon around?
I mean, you can fly Pokemon around.
So you climb on and you just go wherever you want?
There's a HM ability where that's fly, and obviously only flying Pokemon can know it, and you can fly from city to city.
I don't think that's what this is.
Probably not.
It
wouldn't be in the feature thing if it was something that's been done 100 times.
Yeah. My big question for Pokemon Sun and Moon is, will I care?
No, you won't. You and Eric will just hate on it without playing it.
I appreciate Pokemon, but I don't like Pokemon.
And Dan and I will like it and say, you guys should play it. And Eric will say no because he doesn't play things over 2 hours. And you'll just continue to hate it.
I don't hate it. Just don't have fun playing it. Final Fantasy 15 comes out November 29th for PS4, Xbox One, and not PC, unfortunately. It's an action RPG developed by Square Enix. It's also the third game in the Fabula Nova Crystallis subseries. Final Fantasy Type 0, Final Fantasy 13 are also in that subseries. Or did they remove that aspect of it? That's how it was for a while, but they might have got rid of that. I don't know.
I don't know.
The setup for this one, there's a bunch of nations. Each has a crystal. There are a bunch of wars that left only one city with a crystal. That nation sort of succeeds and passes the rest, but then this mechanical nation comes up by sort of taking over all the other ones. The game starts with the last nation with a crystal being taken over. And your job, you're like the prince Noctis, your job is to fix it, to figure everything out, to save the world. Imagine that premise for a Final Fantasy game. It does feature a darker atmosphere with more realistic characters. Open world environment. We've seen so many gameplay videos of the action combat, more similar to Type 0. There's no loading screens. You just kind of enter the battle. No loading screens. There's really like infinite videos of this game out there. And that's the most interesting part of it for me, like following this game, is the big marketing push. In fact, Kingsglaive, the anime movie, just came out, sitting at a 32% on Metacritic, 8% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it has a solid 8 out of 10 from fans on IMDb, and I think the Metacritic user score was 8 out of 10 as well. So the voice actors are Aaron Paul, Lena Headey, Dan?
Yeah.
And Sean Bean. So good cast. And everybody, I did read a little bit about it on Reddit. People say like it's not a good movie, but if you're a gamer, you'll love it.
Right.
Okay.
Apparently, it's very impressive visually, and it does a good job of conveying the Final Fantasy 15 universe ahead of the game. So I'm looking forward to it. It's came to limited theaters, and it releases digitally on August 30th. So I'm probably going to watch it. But in the meantime, speaking of the marketing push, there are 4 episodes of the anime prequel on YouTube. So I'll probably try and watch those. And there's also been a bunch of playable demos. They're spending a lot of money on Final Fantasy 15, which they should, because it's been in development since 2006. So interesting. So what do you guys think? Can Final Fantasy 15 restore Final Fantasy to its former glory?
No, but I think it'll be all right.
It'll be okay.
Just okay?
I'm hoping it comes out either on PC or NX when the NX comes out.
Huh.
That's a bold claim, Dan.
I don't know. At least as of right now, there seems to be a lot of third-party developer support for the NX.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that goes as time goes on, but
yeah, Oh, Fiona dropped her bone. I'm a little bit worried about it. I talked a little bit about it a few weeks ago, but it just, like, we've seen a ton of combat videos, and to me, that's not... I don't really care about that. You know, I'm happy with all types of... I like the Final Fantasy Type 0 combat. I like the Final Fantasy 1 combat. You know, it's not what those games are about for me. So, I don't know. It's just... It also seems like there's just so much going on that it can get to the point where the game has to tell you what to do at all times. Like, oh, press this button here, do this now, do this. Like, it almost seems like it's so concerned with spectacle and wanting everything to work that it's just going to have to do everything for you, kind of thing. I don't know. Does that make sense?
yeah.
I know it's...
I'm a little concerned with how much of bros on a road trip it seems like.
Yep.
Yeah, but they're Japanese bros. It's not, you know, Western frat bros.
Yeah. I'll believe it when I see it.
I'm with Dan. If I hear the term bro once in the game, I'll turn it off.
I think we hear bro in the trailer, don't we?
Probably.
Maybe. It's trying to appeal to the Call of Duty crowd.
Yeah. And well, and they say like they're more human characters, and it's like, yeah, I'm not playing Final Fantasy for more human characters.
Right.
Human, you know, emotions, yes, but I don't care if they're, I don't know.
Somebody you'd run across in the grocery store.
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't need to be like a girl next door, guy next door kind of thing.
Or people of Walmart.
That's not what I'm interested in. We'll see. I hope I get to play it this year. I really do, but I don't know. I have to borrow somebody's Xbox One. Will, are you selling your Xbox One?
No. I'll let you borrow.
Are you guys still there?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's Final Fantasy 15. Any more thoughts on that?
Nah.
Okay, my last one, Star Trek Bridge Crew comes out November 29th for the Vive, Rift, and PlayStation VR. It is a VR experience developed by Red Storm Entertainment. It's set in the alternate Trek universe, the one that J.J. Abrams started with his 2009 film. And you are one of a crew of 4 controlling the USS Aegis. The roles you can play on the Star Trek Bridge Crew are engineer, who allocates power to different systems, like the weapons and the shields and all that good stuff. The tactical person, who is in charge of the weapons. The helm is the person who flies the ship, and the captain is the one that gives the orders. They apparently demoed it quite a bit at Gamescom, and I read some very, very favorable reviews of it. The one I was reading was talking about how they use the Oculus Touch controllers, which aren't out yet. But he said in his review that it was so one-to-one, like so perfect that he even forgot they were in his hands while he was manipulating his virtual in-game touchscreen, which to me is very promising.
Yeah.
You're sent on a mission to explore another galaxy. What you're actually doing is searching for a new home for the Vulcans after their, spoiler, planet was destroyed in the first Abrams movie. So, again, really good reviews. I read one where they commented on how nice the visuals are, like when you're out exploring space, which is something I wanted in No Man's Sky and didn't really get. That whole space porn kind of thing. Go ahead, Dean.
I've never really watched Star Trek, but do they do intergalactic travel, or is it just interstellar travel?
Maybe I mistyped, but I'm pretty sure they go to like the edge of the universe.
I have no idea. I've never watched it. But that's a whole other intergalactic travel is a lot more difficult and different than interstellar travel.
Yeah, but I mean, in the world of Star Trek, I don't think
it's not real, but
yeah. There's no hang-ups for that difference.
Right.
I could have just made a typo. I don't know. Yeah, so there's a main campaign, and then there's procedurally generated side missions. I really want to play this.
Are you going to be able to come up? Well, first of all, get your own Oculus, and then come up three friends that have one.
No.
I wonder if they could run that off of like Gear VR.
I don't know.
Because that would be a lot more doable. I mean, I could buy a Gear VR right now with my phone.
Oh, there's that Artemis Bridge Simulator game. Is very similar to this, and you can play that just on PCs and I think maybe mobile devices. We've all played Space Team on mobile. Pretty similar.
Yeah.
To what they're trying to accomplish here. I just really like the idea of this kind of game. I would play it even on my iPhone.
Sure.
Get 4 people in a room and. Oh yeah, Beardless says it's just interstellar travel, Dan. But he says he thinks Voyager did intergalactic travel, so maybe they've done it in the past. But
yeah, because the galaxies are really far apart from each other.
Yeah. But again, it's just a wormhole. That's how they explain it away.
Well, yeah, I mean that's when they figure when they actually do like a lot of stellar travel, it'll be folding space, so you can just jump through from one spot to another.
You know what blows my mind? What? Do you hear about the planet they discovered today?
Yeah.
It's literally the star closest to us, and we're just now finding it.
I know.
And the weirdest part about that is we've heard about exoplanets, many of them, in the last few dozen years that could harbor life in the same light, and they're way further away.
Yeah.
And we're just now discovering the one that's the closest star to us.
It's like, what is it, 4.1 light years away?
Yeah.
Which is really close.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. It kind of makes you wonder. It's like, well, if we're just finding that one, then like, how sure are we about all these other ones? And actually, the
Right.
article I read about it did sort of mention something about that. Like, they find these exoplanets that are really far away, on based on one experiment, and then can't find them again. So it just kind of fizzles out, and then they're just forgotten. So hopefully
Yeah.
this one sends some promise. And the like moment of what's the word? Realization for me was at the end of the article when it said like, oh, we hope to develop the technology to travel to this exoplanet in the next couple centuries. I'm just like, yeah, I
I
won't
thought
be
it
around
said
for that one.
that said generations.
The one I said mentioned centuries, the next 2 centuries.
Because they think they can eventually develop a like little nano spacecraft that can do 20% the speed of light, which then it would be 20 years for it to get there.
Well, wouldn't it be?
Think about.
Yeah, yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I won't be around to see that one. But although they
No.
are developing the technology to look at it,
Yeah,
so that'll be nice.
sure.
But anyway, that's it. That's it for my November.
Okay.
I didn't do anything in December.
I didn't either.
No.
There's only a couple ones. The only really the one I wanted to talk about was South Park.
Yeah,
Really excited for South Park.
the fractured butthole.
Fractured butthole. Yeah. Are they gonna sell the Nostulus Rift,
Yeah.
or is it a joke?
No, it's real.
Does that come as part of like a collector's edition? Or
Probably.
something?
I think so.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was just like a joke or something. Are you watching the baseball game, Will?
That was a bad call. Yeah.
Oh. It's a close one. High scoring.
Yeah. It's
Not-
8-8.
Oh
But because
God.
it's little,
No, it's
the
not.
strikes. Did they just score?
It's 10-8.
Okay. Well, my stream's behind then. Thanks,
Oh.
Dan.
Sorry.
10-8, good
Nah,
guys.
Yeah. 10-8 Mid-Atlantic.
Because it's Little League, the strike zone's huge. So, like, things that are very clearly balls, they call strikes, and it aggravates me.
Sure.
But, sorry. You continue.
Go ahead, Corey.
I got nothing. I'm done.
That's everything. All right. Shall we get into Nibble Bits?
Sure.
Sure.
All right. Nibble Bits. I'll go first. So modders have already begun to do some work on the PC version of No Man's Sky, with the low flight mod solving the complaints of a lot of people. Low flight makes atmospheric flight a lot more interesting by allowing the player to fly much closer to the ground, as well as through caves and canyons, through water, and even crash into obstacles. I watched a video of it. It definitely does add a little bit of immersion that wasn't there. As I said, flying through canyons and stuff like that. It's pretty neat. I think modders will be able to turn No Man's Sky into a much better experience. So,
Let's hope.
yeah.
Do you think
I
there's
haven't
enough
tried to-
interest though from the people who would make these mods?
Yeah, definitely. There was one. It was called like Dark Space or something like that, where it actually made space look like space, as we know it, it's dark, and it changes the lighting on all the planets and stuff too. So the planets that the people were walking around on were actually legitimately like dark.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like night here dark. And they said you had to actually use your torch, because I don't think I ever used my torch in my 35 hours or whatever of No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
There's just nothing for it.
No.
So I thought that was interesting too. So we'll see what they do with No Man's Sky. I wanted to try that, but I've just been so busy playing other things that I haven't yet. And then my only other nibble bit that I forgot to tweet actually was that PlayStation Now is coming to PC.
I tweeted
Really?
it.
Did you tweet that? I thought you just tweeted the controller thing.
I tweeted the controller thing a couple days ago, but the PlayStation Now I tweeted today.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you talk about it then.
That's
but-
all right. I
Go
don't.
ahead.
I didn't paraphrase it or anything. I'm just reading off the article.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're just bringing it to PC, so that's actually cool. I may actually use that in some capacity to play some of the older PlayStation games.
Yeah. I don't know.
I really don't like the pricing on it. It's unreasonably expensive, I think, but
Well, it's better now that they have the subscribe and play all the games.
yeah. I still don't like not being able to like own those games myself. But,
You can pay $20 for a single month subscription, which gives you access to 200 games.
yeah.
I'd have to look
And
at the library, but
there's a few on there that I would want to play. So, but yeah, that's my nibble bits. So why don't you go ahead, Corey? You can piggyback off of that.
well, also as part of that, the DualShock wireless PC adapter is coming as well, so you can use your DualShock controller easily on a computer with just a dongle. So that'll be all right. The Witness is coming to Xbox One. Will talked about that already, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure did.
That news came out this week. I'll just keep moving along here. Pokemon Go shreds 15 million daily users in 1 month. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It is.
But they're still sitting at, let's see here, about 30 million. 45 to 30 million.
No big deal.
No big deal.
They probably just dumped off the people that were just playing it because it's what's popular, like
Yeah.
there was obviously a lot of people that weren't necessarily even Pokemon fans that were just played it because that was the in thing.
Yeah.
And then some people that played it because of the novelty. That probably wore off,
Yeah.
Me and Corey.
Yeah, wore off. Will and I kind of decided that we're going to end the Pogo podcast after 2 episodes.
Episodes calling it a show.
Yeah.
Corey and I just really did not feel like recording a new episode.
And that's a bad sign when we're 2 episodes in and I just can't muster up the energy to do a third one.
Sure.
Whenever Corey asked me when I was free to do the 3rd episode, I was like, ugh.
And yeah, it's just, and I have zero interest in even opening the Pokemon Go app. How am I supposed to do a podcast on a game I don't really even care about anymore?
Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about.
Right.
I still play it several times a day. I pop in and catch any Pokemon, but it really doesn't go beyond that,
No, it just sucks because I did spend quite a bit of time getting everything set up and running and social media and website and everything, and I've already realized, granted I was on a 2-week vacation, that probably had something to do with it, but a month ago I spent solid chunks of time creating all that stuff only to just not do anything with it anymore. But hey,
Maybe we'll bring it back at some point.
you live, you learn. Put it on a resume.
Sure.
But Will and I are kicking around ideas for a new podcast, so stay tuned.
No Man's Sky podcast.
Yeah.
I'd be all right with that. I know Corey wouldn't want to do that, but
No, screw that. I already
'Cause
don't want to play that anymore.
I brought up a lot of ideas, but Corey poo-pooed all of them already.
Well, you just got to pick something you really care about. And I thought I cared about Pokemon Go, but like I said, that 2-week vacation, that'll do it. If you don't play something, you'll lose interest. And like I talked about that with Rocket League. I haven't really played Rocket League since I've been home, and I played every day before I went on vacation.
Sure.
I don't know. We can move on from that. Fans around the world are building a new Halo game for PC.
Yeah.
Which sounds nice. It's called Installation 1, and their goal, quote, is to create the multiplayer experience of the Halo games, and for gamers to enjoy an amazing Halo experience worldwide on Windows, Mac, and Linux computers. You don't have to worry about them getting shut down by Microsoft because all the assets are their own. They're taking great effort to make sure all their work is completely legal. They're following all Microsoft's content usage rules, so should be a very real thing. We do have Halo 1 on PC, right?
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, if you can find a copy of it anywhere.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hopeful that even the old games, like I would love to see just thrown on Steam for, $20 or whatever. I would buy those in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, they're building new maps and everything. I think I saw that they're creating the older maps, which I guess is legal, but also making ones from their own. So
That's,
that'd be cool.
yeah,
Multiplayer test scheduled for November. So
cool.
there you go. I'm excited for that. I would love to play. I was thinking about that earlier today, as a matter of fact, like how much fun it would be to play older Halo on PC. Divinity 2 Original Sin. Or Divinity Original Sin 2, I should say. Comes out September 15th on Early Access in Steam. I'm really excited for that. Divinity Original Sin Original won my Game of the Year in 2014. I think it was that game came out. So I'm really excited to play that. I'm torn. I don't know whether to do early access or not. As much as I love the first one, I kind of want to wait till it's done and then play it.
I'd
it
wait.
cheaper?
I don't think it's going to be any cheaper.
Okay. Because I was gonna say if it's cheaper, like if you buy it in early, because you know you're gonna play it anyway. If you get like a discount for buying it in early access, then I would definitely do that. But if you don't think it's, cause it's $40 or get early access, or don't we know yet?
Yes, 40.
Yeah, it won't be cheaper than that, or it won't be more expensive than that. That'll be the price probably.
I mean, if the first one's any indication, totally worth it. That one was marked down too, I believe, and that game was awesome. Like everything I'm looking for out of a fantasy RPG. So excited for that. PS4. So a lot of information about the PS4 announcement stuff leaked. The PS4 Slim, the PS4 Neo, and it sounds like we're getting the Slim. Will, help me out. Are we getting the Slim to coincide with the September announcement?
Yeah, Slim, and then the new better hardware one
is also coming out.
I think they're both going to be coming out. I don't know if it's simultaneous, but
ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's coming in 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
There you go. But there's also a rumor making the internet rounds that there's a new PlayStation handheld.
Really?
Remember when one of my crazy predictions was that we'd get a new PlayStation Vita, and you guys all poo-pooed me?
I never did such thing.
Here you go. It's coming.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. People love their Vitas.
Yeah.
Sony is trying to make strides on the whole streaming thing. I don't know. I think there's a market for it. I really do. There's enough.
They don't support their devices. That's the PSP and the PS Vita are both the same. They get a handful of JRPGs and then a handful of indies, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I do think there is definitely opportunity there and potential. So we'll see. I don't know. And maybe this handheld is a copy of the NX that Nintendo was so afraid of.
Maybe.
That would be cool.
Yeah, if it had the power to play PS4 games.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Modular thing.
Yeah, maybe it could only play digital games.
Yeah. I'd be into that.
Yeah, me too.
I guess a lot of people are excited for it. So, I mean,
yeah. I'm really curious to see what that announcement's all about. What day is it? The 7th? September 7th?
Sure.
Which is a Wednesday. Yeah, that sucks. But anyway, also PlayStation Plus price is going up starting September 22nd. Change from $60 a year to $70. Oh, I'm sorry, $60 a year. Wait.
You got this, Corey. Come on.
12 months. Oh, yeah, going up to $60 a year. I'm not sure what it's at right now.
50.
Okay. And monthly plans going up to what?
I think the monthly plan is staying the same.
All right, let me just read this. This is straight from the PlayStation blog, so this is a primary source. Update. Starting on September 22nd, 2016, prices for PlayStation Plus memberships will change to $60, 70 Canadian dollars for 12 months, and $25 US and $30 Canadian for 3 months. The monthly plan will change to $12 Canadian and remain $10 in the U.S. If you are a current member, the new prices will take effect if your membership renews on or after this date. That makes no sense.
So basically, the monthly is staying the same, and the 3-month and the 1 year are going up.
I had that same nibble there, Corey. I would have had that all out in less time.
Huh. Okay. All right.
The Canadian version of the monthly is going up by $2 a month. But other than that, the monthly is the same.
Why?
I don't know. Currency.
All right.
I'm hoping this leads to better PS Plus games. I'm getting really tired of what they've been releasing because I have not been interested in one of the games in, half a year.
People said on message boards I was reading about that. That was what they were saying. So they hope it leads to better PS Plus games.
Yeah, I'm fine with the price increase, just as long as they get me something better. Because it used to be so good, and now, like, since the PS4, like, it's just been lackluster.
Yeah.
Like, give me Knack even. Like,
That was an exact comment that someone made. I can't even get Knack.
was it really?
It was a launch title almost 3 years ago? 2 years ago? Almost 2 years ago, right? Or was it 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
Wow.
I think it was 3. Because I thought by now we would get, like, Knack or Killzone or Battlefield 4, like, something like that.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know, guys.
Yeah. Anywho.
That's all. That's all I have for Nibble Bits.
What do you got, Will?
Keeping on the trend, Xbox announced in September games with gold. You're going to be getting Earthlock Festival of Magic, Assassin's Creed Chronicles China on the Xbox One, and then for the 360, you're going to get Forza Horizon and Mirror's Edge.
All right.
Yeah.
Wasn't Mirror's Edge in a Humble Bundle before?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could probably get that game for like $2.
I think that's when I got it. Was part of a Humble Bundle.
Huh.
I mean, I've never heard of Earthlock Festival of Magic, but I mean, Forza Horizon's pretty good, even though it's pretty old.
Sure.
Bethesda shows off its latest Fallout 4 DLC, Nuka World. I don't know if we ever announced, but the release date for it is going to be August 30th. And they recommend that you start the DLC at least level 30. So it sounds like it's going to be pretty hard. And the developers did an hour-long developer walkthrough today for Twitch. That is up on Destructoid if anybody's interested. It looks pretty good. I'm interested to see if the last DLC is going to be worth it.
Yeah. It looks like there's a ton of trash to dig through.
So Corey's not.
Corey's not digging it.
No. That instantly made me hate it. I was cautiously optimistic.
After playing Enderal, like, I'm starting to question Bethesda games.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. What? Maybe this is a discussion for what we played, so I'll save it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Far Harbor a lot. I thought that was one of their better efforts for DLC recently. I don't know. I don't want to spend like $25 on this. That's the problem. Because I would have spent $50 on DLC, and it's like only 2 DLC pieces, and that's kind of a lot of money.
Yeah.
For a game that I didn't even like that much, even.
Yeah.
And I liked it, and I wouldn't spend that much on the DLC.
Maybe I'll wait for this one, because even the location doesn't interest me that much. Because at least Far Harbor had its own cool art style, and it took place in a unique area. This one just kind of looks more the same.
Like another one of those towers that you just go up a floor, and everything looks the same, and there's a bunch of trash. Maybe there's a
couple
mutant
super mutants.
throwing grenades that kill you through the floor.
Yeah.
Of the floor above. Yeah. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. This DLC is terrible. And my last one is woman killed by Pokemon Go driver.
Yeah, there it
So-
is. I shouldn't react like that. That's terrible, but we knew it would
It's-
happen, right?
Definitely. So a Pokemon Go player was driving, playing Pokemon Go, and hit two women, 72-year-old. I'm not even gonna try to do the name because it was in Japan,
Gosh.
and a 60-year-old, Koyoko Igawa. I can kind of do that one. She suffered the serious injuries, and the 17-year-old woman ended up passing away. And the driver admitted he was playing Pokemon Go while driving. And
Jail
early-
time?
Yeah, he's arrested. I didn't see the exact jail time, but he did get arrested.
Yeah.
Come on, people, be smarter than that. Because the game, even like while you're driving, says, "Hey, you're driving too fast. Don't play this while driving."
Yeah.
And there's a little option that says, "I'm a passenger," and you click that, and then the game lets you play. But it's not on the game at this point. If it has enough of security features in there to stop people from wanting to play while driving, it's
Yeah.
up to the people at this point.
I mean, people get killed every day by drivers texting. It's
Yeah.
not, like you said, it's not on the game.
At some point, people need to own up and probably
Be
watch
responsible
when
for
they're
yourself.
driving.
Yeah.
So it's really sad to hear that, and we're depressing when anybody dies, like especially from getting hit by a car. That's a horrible, horrible, horrible way to go.
Yep.
And that's it for me. Nibble bits.
Okay. How was your week, Will?
It was good. I've had the whole week off, so I've literally just kind of been playing some video games and catching up on some stuff. I played 8 hours of Deus Ex today.
Nice.
I played from 10 in the morning to about 6 today. And I'm going to get up early again tomorrow at 7 a.m. Just try to get as much in as I can before school next week.
Yeah.
Because I kind of want to have a beat for our episode. Because Deus Ex is kind of like one of my franchises.
Sure.
I was the first one in to say Human Revolution was real good. So,
Yep.
been playing a lot of that. I started watching an anime.
Polar Bear Cafe?
No, it's I started watching. Been watching Pokemon,
Oh, God.
but it's not the Indigo League. I decided to watch the newest season that's on Netflix, which is X and Y.
Uh-huh.
Came out last year. Kind of like it.
Okay.
I know you won't care, Corey, at all.
No.
But I don't know. It's
Hey, did Ash win the championship? Is that a spoiler?
no. I mean, it is a spoiler. Okay, so recently I've been seeing a lot of people saying that the new, like the Pokemon X, Y, and Z seasons have been really good. And like I've been seeing a lot of people on Kotaku and Destructoid writing about it. And just recently somebody wrote an article about how Ash almost won the Kalos region, but ended up losing. I guess Ash has become a more likable character and stuff like that, and they kind of gave him a girlfriend. Stuff like that. They kind of like really changed up a lot of stuff with this series, as opposed to the past. I don't know. I don't even know how many seasons there's been. Probably like 15 at this point, because there's been so many games. But I'm on episode like 8 of that, and I've just been watching episodes here and there. And I really like Pokemon. I wish I lived in the world of Pokemon.
Sure.
Other than that, nothing.
Really, Will?
Yeah. If I were to pick one world to live in, I'd pick Pokemon. What's so funny about that?
Nah, you're entitled to have whatever fantasies you'd like.
Well, I'm gonna pick Skyrim. Woo, that's boring.
Why would you pick Skyrim? I wouldn't want to live in Skyrim's universe.
What world would you want to live in?
Star Trek.
Oh my God.
It'd be cool.
Well, I kind of don't want to live in a world where I could really like die easily.
Star Trek. You don't die in Star Trek.
Yeah, you can.
No.
In Pokemon, there's no threat to humans ever.
Hmm.
You're just raising Pokemon.
Well, it depends on what color your uniform is in Star Trek.
What if you're red?
No, red you live.
Okay, orange.
I don't remember seeing orange, but that doesn't
Purple.
mean there isn't. I'm sure there is. Regardless. Oh, Fiona. No.
That's it for my week.
Naughty. Hey. Naughty. We don't have the bedclothes aren't on the guest bed behind me, and she's tearing up the
Foam.
mattress pad.
Uh-huh.
How dare
She's
you?
been doing that. She's probably been doing that for hours.
Well, I put a blanket down, and she's been chewing on that, which is fine, but that foam just rips right apart. Hey! Naughty.
How was your week, Corey?
Pretty good. I wanted to give a shout out to Spotify's new gaming channel. It was announced a couple weeks ago, but they have a specific gaming genre you can choose. And I noticed a bunch of albums in there that haven't been on Spotify in the past, like the Flower album, the Journey album, which is great. The Undertale album is also on there now. A couple others I can't think of off the top of my head. Some of them are there that I know I've been on there in the past, like the Braid.
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect, yeah. But there's some good stuff on there. Today, like I said, I listened to all of the Undertale soundtrack, all of the Flower soundtrack. A couple others. I listened to the Dust and Elysian Tale soundtrack, which I didn't even play all that game, but the music is good.
Yeah, it is really good.
It's good. That stuff's all good to play while you're doing something else because it doesn't distract you. You know.
Yeah. Because it's meant to be in the background.
Exactly. Yeah, it's meant to actually help you focus. So that's good. I had a lot of fun with that. Also, Will and I talked about the Death of the Pogo podcast, so I don't need to revisit that. I did a little. I'm doing a science experiment funded by the Thumbstick athletes. I sent my mother a Steam game just to see what happens. I sent it to her 2 days ago, and she hasn't said anything.
She probably deleted it. I've been waiting for her to bring it up to me. She hasn't.
Yeah, so what I sent her is this game. It was in the Humble Bundle. I bought the Humble Bundle because I wanted Galaxy Z, and I wanted Nuclear Throne. Fiona's freaking out behind me. So I got it, but I sent her the Regency Solitaire. What's it called?
Yeah, yep, that's the one.
Regency Solitaire?
I think so, yeah.
So it's like a point-and-click solitaire adventure game set in like the Victorian times.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It reminded me of Downton Abbey, and she's into all that. So actually, it probably takes place before Downton Abbey, quite a bit before. But anyway, she loves solitaire, and she loves that like Victorian era stuff. So I just figured, what the heck? I'll send it to her, see what happens for science. But I've not heard anything. So I think you might be right, Will. I think she might have deleted it.
Yeah, I mean,
thinking it was spam.
Yeah. So what you got to do, Will, you got to be like, Corey said he sent you a video game.
no, I'll just say Corey sent you something special in the email.
No, don't do that, because that'll weird her out.
No, she loves you. You're the favorite.
No. Just say, this is my science experiment. So you got to do what I say.
Okay.
No, you just gotta say, Mom, Corey said he sent you a video game. Did you get it?
Okay.
All right.
All right, I'll do it.
So that's been my exciting week.
Mine's equally exciting, Corey.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, but the Soma is part of the Humble monthly bundle. So I bought that. That's the immediate unlock. So I have that game and I can play it now, which I know you've been wanting me to play. I don't know what the other games are yet. I'll find out at the end of the month. But knowing you guys want to play Deus Ex, I always like to have something to be able to play if people are wanting to use my library. I always like to have a backup. So I bought Mass Effect 1 and 2 on Origin. I had already put maybe 6-8 hours into my character that I just started not that long ago. And sure enough, all I had to do was like install it on Origin, boot it up, and it automatically like found my save files and stuff. So I didn't even have to transfer everything. It just got them automatically, and I'm playing on Origin now instead of Steam.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I have a game to play. If I see someone's playing one of my games on Steam, I'll just go into Origin and play Mass Effect instead.
Nice.
Dan, you could tell me to get off your.
Well, I wouldn't even need to tell you. I would just log in and it would boot you from whatever game you're playing of mine.
True.
But I mean, I really only play like kind of late at night, and that's not a game. Like some games I can play during the day if the kids are settling down and watching a movie or something. But Deus Ex is not one of them. Like No Man's Sky I can play during the day. Even Mass Effect I could get away with a little bit, but yeah.
That's why I took it upon myself to play in the early morning.
Yeah, because I that's not a game I can play during the day. So
What color ending are you working towards, Dan?
I mean, I'm going to go for the red ending, of course. But I'm going through it not looking anything up because of some of the minutia from like earlier in the game I forgot about.
Yeah.
Especially like once I get to Mass Effect 2, like I had it perfected how to save all the characters from dying, and I don't remember like how that all went down. So I'll be excited to get into Mass Effect 2 and 3 and see how not necessarily a fresh playthrough is, but because I have some memories of the quote unquote right choices to make, but
Right.
I've definitely forgotten a lot of that stuff. So
I wish I had the time to sit through and just play all those again.
yeah,
You will when the remaster comes out.
With the abridged version.
dare you? I was just thinking about that discussion earlier today. Abridged versions. You just watch a YouTube video.
That's what I have on right now.
Oh, Mass Effect
Although it's not
abridged
playing.
playthrough.
Yeah. It's all cutscenes.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, Mass Effect 2, all cutscenes. Total runtime, almost 8 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's something you could put on like to fall asleep at, to fall asleep to at night. If you need to have some TV. But that's all I really have going on currently. So we'll take a quick break and be right back with what we played in just a moment. Okay. We're over 2 hours already.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
Just, ugh.
And I have to use the restroom.
Yeah, I do too.
But on a positive, Main Endwell's winning 13-10.
Nice.
This game's crazy.
Yeah, I keep checking the score, and there's another like 3 or 4 runs every inning.
For each team.
Yeah. So hopefully, Main Endwell cannot give up any runs here and not have to worry about playing the bottom of the 6th. It's only 6 innings, right?
What's that?
I think it's only 6 innings, right?
I think so. It's either 6 or 7. I can never really remember.
Yeah.
I was watching, mind you, these are 12 and 13-year-olds, but I was watching that Tennessee team, and I wanted to punch all those kids.
Oh, really?
Because, like, they were hitting home runs, and, like, when they're grounding third, they're doing the Johnny Manziel money thing, and I'm like, you're, like, 12, you blonde-headed jerk.
Yeah. All right.
Don't look up to him.
Quick bathroom. Yeah, he's not a very good role model.
Favorite games, Will? What are your favorite games? Fire them off.
I mean, big into Final Fantasy, big into Fire Emblem, playing the Deus Ex game, the new one.
Yeah.
Love Deus Ex. Let's see. I don't know. Mass Effect, Fallout, although not big on 4.
No, Fallout 4 is a steamy pile.
Yeah, I'd agree. How about you, Corey?
Yeah, I like Final Fantasy VI is my favorite game of all time. More recently, though, I think I put Terraria in my top 5 games of all time.
Terraria is awesome.
I think I might have put Hearthstone in there, too. I play a ton of Hearthstone. What else have I just really... Oh, the first Dark Souls. Definitely. This year, in love with Stardew Valley.
Oh, yeah. That could win Game of the Year.
Yeah. What else came
Potential.
out this year that we've been into? We were into Pokemon Go for 2 weeks.
Like everybody else. Hold on. Let me bring up the games that I've played this year. Witness, Firewatch, XCOM, Stardew Valley, Division, Grim Dawn, Uncharted, Ratchet and Clank, Abzu, Starbound, Pokemon Go. I am Setsuna is what I have so far.
When we did our best games of the half year 2016, I forgot to add Grim Dawn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I forgot because I didn't play it very much either.
And I think I forgot to add Dark Souls 3 as well. I don't remember. Low key addicted to Hearthstone. Yeah, I pretty much just do my dailies every day. I'm not competitive enough to like fight my way up the ladder, but I like it enough that I just do my dailies and the adventures when they come out and like mess around and try and make fun decks. And that's about the extent of my Hearthstone. But yeah, I am also mildly addicted. Oh, Rocket League. That's a show favorite as well.
Dumb game.
From half of us. I gotta run to the bathroom before we start again.
Okay. Will, you have this game on?
Yeah, I've been watching it with Johnny's cable information.
Oh, nice.
Thanks, Galuzzo family.
Yeah, because I'm just following like the live box score on.
Yeah.
I don't know, something, and it like updates weirdly.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'll miss a few of what's going on, and all of a sudden, like I said, there'll be another few runs scored.
I really wish streaming capabilities were up with like live viewing capabilities. You know what I mean? Like I don't like that like 30-second delay.
Yeah.
Because my friend is at the gym in Endwell right now. There's a lot of people there, like all watching and talking about it right now. And he's just like, "Oh my God, that home run!" And I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, one of the car dealers set up a huge outdoor screen at the football field to watch.
Yeah.
Watch the game.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
And Dad was telling me like 10,000 people are like watching their games like live. Yeah. Like, could you imagine being 13 years old and having 10,000 people watching you play?
Playing in front of a crowd of 10,000 people.
Like, I would get nervous with like the 20 people watching me play like my senior year.
I was a slightly below average baseball player, so
the more people that watched, the more nervous I got, and like the worse I did.
Yeah. That must be a game.
Good.
Unless, well, no, it's bottom of the sixth. I don't know if that means it's over or not. I can't remember if it's 6 or 7 innings. It's been a long time.
It's crazy how successful this main Endwell school is.
I know it. Exciting.
Hey guys.
Hey Corey.
What'd I miss?
We're just talking Little League baseball.
Yeah.
Oh.
We think it might be game over.
Main Endwell wins?
Yep, 13-10.
Who'd they beat?
Kentucky.
Who was the other undefeated team?
So
where was it from, Will? Milwaukee?
Kentucky.
Kentucky? Great Lakes?
Yeah, Kentucky.
I believe
they beat that Tennessee team, right?
They beat Southeast. Is that Tennessee?
I think so.
Yes, then yeah, they did.
Good.
How many more wins do they need?
So they need to beat one more U.S. team, and then they play the international team for the championship.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll be the only undefeated team now in the United States teams.
That's pretty nutty.
Because the announcers were saying after their first game that they thought they were going to win the tournament because they were so good. They were really impressed.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that happen? Like, how does like a small school become so good at sports like that?
It's all their sports too. Like their girls soccer or girls field hockey won a state championship this past year. Their football team was, the 4 state titles in a row, 462 game unbeaten streak or whatever.
It definitely stems from the younger, like Pee Wee and younger.
Yeah.
Like just
T-ball.
good coaching at that.
Starting early, probably.
Yeah, starting early, getting good coaching early, definitely huge athletic ability. Because it's weird that this school, 20 minutes from where we grew up, is like been so dominant in everything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Must be something in the water.
That's what we've been saying.
Well, and I think I guess success breeds success. It's the snowballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get good sports teams, which leads to probably teachers who want to work at good teachers who want to work at that school district, and
Yeah.
you know
Brings more kids in who are moving into
Right.
an area.
more wealthy donors. They
They're
just
like-
build on themselves.
Yeah, they're like, oh, the Endwell team has good sports. I'm going to move my kids into that district, and
Right.
if you, like Will said, if they're coming from out of the area and they have a kid that's a good athlete,
Yep.
Did
my son probably won't be part of any of these teams.
You
He'll be
never
in the
know.
Cats club.
He'll be a mathlete.
Yeah, exactly. He
Dad
has
was.
zero interest in sports, which is fine.
You never know. He could take off with sports.
Yeah, but
Oh.
he's going to be like me. He's going to be too lazy to work hard at sports.
Well, although all of these kids have started playing sports at Max's age by now.
Yeah.
Dad was telling me today or yesterday that a lot of the parents to these kids came up to him and said, like, hey, like, the kids are really worried about, like, the football practice. Like, he's like, they're really worried about, like, getting enough practices in before they can play. Like, sorry. And Dad's like, don't worry about it. Like, this is a once in a lifetime. They
Yeah.
tell him to not even think about football.
Yeah.
The Little League kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be coaching some of them.
Oh, he is?
on his
Yeah.
football.
On varsity?
No.
No.
Oh, that's right.
7th and
He's-
8th grade.
Yeah, he's the 7th and 8th grade and just helped out with the varsity at the end of the... Right?
Yep.
Okay. I forgot how that whole thing worked. Well, let's put this thing to bed so I can put myself to bed.
I still got
Yeah.
a lift.
Got a lift, bro.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 266 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. We are now in what we played. Will, do you want to start with Deus Ex?
Yeah, you wanna?
Yeah, we teased that at the top of the episode, so we'll talk about that first. I know you played a fair amount, right?
I've got 10 hours in it so far.
Okay, I've got between 2 and 3 hours played so far. So, real quick, because we're doing an episode on it next week, we're gonna give our real quick first impressions. So, go ahead, Will.
I love it so far. Basically everything that Human Revolution was is this, but better, in my opinion. I'm trying to think of how briefly I can put this without getting too in depth. Just like the powers, the ones that they added, the augmentations, some of the new ones are really cool. And I just love the feeling of, because I'm doing a pacifist playthrough and a ghost playthrough, so basically I'm trying not to get detected or kill anybody. And like I just like Jensen being the feeling of overpowered. And I guess if you're doing like combat playthrough, like he can be extremely overpowered, and I really like that feeling. Because he's like supposed to be a superhuman anyway.
Right.
And I see like this is kind of a complaint with some people, and I don't want to say it's not valid, but I sort of think it fits with what Adam Jensen is as a character.
Sure.
As I said, I'm loving it, everything about it. I really like the story to this game. I think Deus Ex is just one of those franchises that I've always really liked. Granted, I didn't play the very first one. I've only played Human Revolution, but that was my game of the year in 2011 when it came out. So
There's a mod to mod the first one to make it like not close, but closer in graphical quality to
really,
Human Revolution. Yeah, it's supposed to like overhaul a lot of the visuals and even some systems to make it a lot more playable now.
because that game was really yellow. I don't know if you remember.
It's been a long time since I played the first one.
The color palette did not change during the game. Because like Prague in this game, beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you spent time just walking around.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I did like the whole intro sequence, and then I got into the hub city,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh, okay, I'll move on to my next objective, and then like you get a side quest, and then you go to investigate that side quest, and that side quest has branching paths. So I'm doing multiple, and that's what I love in games. So, yeah, I'm totally digging Deus Ex so far. Like I said, it's almost 3 hours played.
Mhm.
There's been a lot of complaints in the Steam forums, and I think it was reported on like IGN of people having issues running the PC version. I've had absolutely none. It's ran perfectly for me, but there's a few settings that you have to set correctly in order for the game to run. One of the big ones was MSAA. If you have, like, I have a GTX 970, turn that off. You won't need it. It's just going to cripple your frame rate. Even if you have a really even if you have like 1080s and stuff, like the MSAA will cripple your frame rates. So
MSAA, just turn it off.
MSAA turn off. Yeah. It's not necessary. It's for like years down the road when we're that much further advanced in our GPU technology. So you can go back and play it, and it'll like the visuals will pop in like an older game.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, I was gonna bring up because like every time one of these games comes out, there's always I hear people are outraged about the PC port quality, and everybody I know never has issues. I don't know.
yeah. Well,
I just want to know who these people are.
I think a lot of it is people, they'll they don't know how to properly calibrate their games. Like PC gaming, it takes a little calibration to get your games running the way you want.
Yeah.
I think people assume that if they have like a 1080 that they can run any game in ultra settings and not have any issues,
Yeah.
Whereas, like I said, this one, the MSAA really cripples your frame rate. I think like I watched Total Biscuits talking about the PC port of Deus Ex, and it halved his frame rate having MSAA on. I think it was just 4x too. It wasn't even all the way up to 8x. So
Okay.
yeah,
I'll
definitely
make sure to
before
turn that off.
before you start whining about the game not running well, make sure you tinker with it a little bit and get it running nicely.
Yeah, because the game's run beautifully for me, and I haven't even turned that off.
Me too. I will occasionally get it's mostly runs at a consistent 60. I'll occasionally get drops into like the mid 50s. That's as low as it goes. That's when a lot of stuff is going on screen.
Yeah.
Like the sandstorm part at the beginning, I was getting a little bit of drops into the mid 50s at that point, but that's almost not noticeable for me.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm into the action, So yeah, really impressed with it so far.
I'm interested to hear how Corey feels about it.
I'm excited. I really liked Human Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Great game. I love the setting. I love the setup. Looking forward to it.
The cool thing about science fiction is it's like this is something we're going to face at some point in our human history,
Yeah.
That this exact situation will arise at some point.
I actually posed the questions to a bunch of my friends in a group message saying if you have augmented arm, would you do it? Everybody said yeah.
Would you do what?
If I didn't have an arm.
I would probably chop mine off to get it augmented.
Yeah.
Be awesome. I just want one.
Yeah, but it would be painful regardless of, even if you had an awesome augmented arm, like chopping your arm off that's a hefty surgery.
Pretty expensive too, probably.
Yeah.
Let's put it on the tab.
Put it on my credit card.
Put it on my tab.
Okay, so yeah, those are our thoughts. Good stuff so far. Next week, like I said, we'll do a full episode on it. We'll probably have it beaten. I hope to have it beaten by then. So
Corey will have like 3 hours probably.
Yeah, this isn't a good weekend for me. I've got Friday plans, Saturday plans, Sunday plans.
Oh.
Yeah. Tomorrow I'm busy all day, work. Friday, I could probably play Friday. No, I can't. I just said that. I have Friday plans. Monday is out. Tuesday next week, I'll be able to play for a couple hours.
Sweet.
Wait. No, I won't.
So
Wednesday.
Corey's just not gonna play the game.
Tuesday's no good. Wednesday, it depends on when we record. Wednesday I'll be able to play. Wednesday night. For sure.
So hopefully we can record on Thursday.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Friday.
I also fired up Enderal.
Attaboy.
Yeah. On Corey's recommendation. It took me a little while to get it downloaded. I tried initially from the Nexus mod place and then ModDB. But for whatever reason, I think it probably is because my internet has been poor lately. The download would stop like partway through and not like restart. So I tried that a couple different times, and finally I was like, okay, I'll just do the torrent version, which started off downloading really, really, really slowly, but picked up, and it took about an hour, I think, for me to download the torrent, which is perfectly legal. Torrents themselves are obviously not illegal. It's when you download pirated content from torrents that's when you run into some trouble.
Yeah.
So that's where I downloaded it. Setup was really easy. You just pretty much click and open the launcher, and it does everything for you. Updates on its own too, which is also nice. But yeah, I've been really impressed with Enderal so far. Like, it's weird because you're basically looking at all the Skyrim graphical assets, but playing something that has a much more interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very. It's a very weird feeling, and it kind of starts off with a bang, and like it's just weird to play something so story driven.
Yeah.
While you feel like you're playing Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I probably only played about 3 hours of it, but I've been really impressed and really into it so far.
Where'd you get to? Where you at?
I'm on my way. I just hit. I got that box that was in the bay there, in that river that the guy threw into the river.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to meet the guy that gave me the quest to go get the stuff in the river.
So there's a moment. Maybe I should. I'm gonna. Whatever. I don't care. There's a moment where you travel with Jespar.
Yeah.
That guy. From
Jasper.
Riverville. Have you been to Riverville?
Not yet.
Okay. So you're a little bit of ways. But when you travel from Riverville to Ark, that is one of like the most awesome sequences in games, in my opinion.
Right.
For me, because you travel like this game. It does such a good job of, like you said, the story's really good, but it does such a good job of building up to things. I mean, the game starts off, and it's not holding your hand, but it sort of like slowly introduces you to things.
Yep.
In a way that like you feel completely free to do whatever you want, and you don't realize what you're missing out on until it shows you more of it. You know? And it's kind of hard to put my finger on, but yeah, that moment when you go with Jespar from Riverville to Ark is awesome. And you see, like, you walk through all different types of terrain. You see all sorts of really cool things. That's another thing, like, the world design in Enderal is amazing. Just the way, like, every area feels handcrafted, and every little nook and cranny has, like, a photographic spot to look at and just be in awe. And once you get to Ark, like, there's this thing called the Undercity, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's like this whole city that takes place underneath this city. And even though there's a ton of content in the game, there's a ton of quests to do all over the place, side quests and stuff like that, that you haven't even really been introduced to where you're at in the game. Even though there's a lot of that, it still feels like there's so much more room in this world to flesh out story and, you know, just create interesting content within this already content-filled world.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really impressive, and I don't know if you've been to an inn yet. You probably haven't.
Nope.
Oh my god, it's fantastic. It's unbelievably good, and I can't stress enough, like, you need to play it. People need to play it.
It's crazy to think it's just a mod for like a game that you can get now for $10
Yeah.
on a sale. Like, and it's free. You
Yeah.
just download. It's crazy.
Yep.
There's so much more value there than even a lot of full-priced games.
And this is a sequel to an Oblivion mod.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They did
I
the same
didn't
thing with
know.
Oblivion. This
Nice.
developer. It's and I know people are hearing me say like you should play it, but no, like you need to play it. You really do. Will, you need to play it.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not like blowing smoke here. Like you really.
No, I know you're.
People need.
I know what you're saying is genuine. It's just I won't have enough time to actually play it,
Yeah,
and
but
I'm really into Deus Ex.
what I'm saying is this is a game you make time for.
Over Deus Ex.
Yes. Yeah. I really think so.
That's a lofty claim.
And that's what I was saying earlier. Like it's making me rethink like Bethesda games. But yeah, I also got to take a step back and realize like, okay, Skyrim came out 5 years ago. Computers are more capable of running some of the stuff that impresses me about Enderal. That when Skyrim came out, most computers probably wouldn't be able to.
Right.
Because I even do have some frame rate issues here and there with some of the real pretty looking spots. They just use so much more flora everywhere that everything's just bursting with flowers and plant life and moths and butterflies and you know.
How's the snow looking in the game?
Ugh, Will, mwah. It's beautiful.
Is that your pitch for me?
Yeah, it's one of that, and there's a moment where that moment that I talked about before, that sequence where you're traveling with Jespar, where you go up into the mountains and you go through like it's like a watchtower up on this really snowy mountain. There's like a blizzard. Oh, it's great. And Jespar like walks to the side of the mountain. You just look out over the landscape and like have a moment. It's great.
Now, this does not take place in Skyrim, correct?
It has nothing to do with Elder Scrolls.
No.
Gotcha.
It's its own
universe.
Wow. Okay.
And they even changed a lot of like key gameplay stuff. I talked a little bit about it last week, but you do not level up by doing. You have to. There's like a perk system, which is kind of similar to the perk system in Skyrim. Whereas in that one, it was like stellar stuff, like connecting the stars. Where in this one, it's stones. Have you been into the meditation spot where you kind of level up? And there's like 3 paths that you can take. I'm focusing on the elementalism, which is like lightning, fire, and ice. But I'm also doing heavy armor, so I have like a battle mage kind of thing.
Nice.
Nice, I like
it's
that.
worked out pretty well. But I mean, the difficulty is amped up.
Oh yeah, it's pretty hard.
And for me, it's everything in this game. Like the way things scale is done so much better than it is in an Elder Scrolls game. And like, there's a bank where you can take your money and give it to the bank, and they'll hold on to it, and it'll accrue interest, which is like a worthwhile thing to do. You can buy housing. I bought a house, put stuff in it. You can craft everything you want, or you can just do like a template, pay a certain amount of money. But like all that stuff that you buy and sell has a lot more worth because in order to level up your skills, you have to buy skill books. And that's the main way you increase your abilities is by these skill books, but they're expensive. So like you're constantly looking to make money. It's not like I just remember in all the Elder Scrolls game, like money was never an issue. It was almost like a non-factor in the games. Because I rarely bought anything because I didn't need to. I found everything I needed. There's less to find in this game, but part of me likes that because I'm not stopping to search through every box and crate and satchel or sack, take your pick. I'm not stopping, every half a second to open up a new thing because a lot of it isn't clickable. But there's enough in there that exploring is worth it. No matter what path I've went down, I've always found something interesting and worthwhile. It's like artisanal Elder Scrolls, It's like if I went to Williamsburg in Brooklyn and I went to like a hipster place, they would serve me up Enderal.
That's a nice way.
That's a great analogy.
You know?
Sure. Yeah.
It's great. You gotta play it. You just have to play it. I don't know how you feel about the like story and lore stuff, Dan, but I think it's all really interesting.
I haven't gotten enough of it yet to fully judge it, but it's definitely definitely interesting so far.
You know, all the quests are really well done. There's a lot of choices to make along the way. The subreddit is pretty quiet. The Enderal subreddit. Most like the highest upvoted posts have like 7 upvotes.
Sure.
But I still check it every day, and a couple people have beaten it, and the one guy was saying how he's devastated about the choices he made along the way.
Oh, really?
That just sounds awesome.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Enderal was good. I also downloaded and very briefly tried Pokemon Uranium.
All right.
A little harder to find nowadays. You've got to hope someone posts it somewhere because Nintendo took it down from the official Pokemon Uranium website. But that is also pretty impressive for a 2-person fan project. It very much feels like official Pokemon game.
Mm-hmm.
I probably won't play that one much now. I want to wait until it's compatible with like I don't know, Game Boy Advance or like one of the Game Boy emulators, and then I'll probably play it either on my phone or on my Android tablet. But
is that going to happen? It's going to be emulator compatible?
Someone will do it.
Yeah.
Someone will figure out how to do that. Even if I can just play it on my, like, it doesn't have to be an emulator. If I could just play it on my Android tablet, that would be ideal.
Yeah.
So
that would be ideal. I read the comment. Somebody brought up a good point. Like, the game has been downloaded over 1 million times, or was before they took it down. I think it was 1.5 million.
1.5.
Yeah. Why don't they just strip out all the branding that makes it copyright infringing, and make it their own thing? It wouldn't take much, and just sell it.
Yeah. I think it's the type of situation where they're looking to hopefully land a job.
Yeah, but you sell 1.5 million copies of a $5 game as a 2-person, team. You're set.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
Sure.
Start your own studio.
Yeah, because I would probably buy it. I'm really interested in playing it.
It's pretty darn well done.
Yeah.
I didn't play that one as much, maybe like half an hour. But
I didn't get too far. I hardly escaped the intro town.
Yeah.
But impressive.
That's all I played. So what do you got, Corey?
Other than Hearthstone, I played Enderal, but we already talked about that, so that's it. That's it for me. Oh, I played. What did we play? I played the Game of Life, the board game.
Did you win?
I did.
That's a good sign.
I chose not to go to college. I don't know if you guys remember playing the Game of Life, but you can choose at the beginning whether you want to go to college or not.
Yep.
And if you choose to go to college, then you have more opportunities to get a better career, but you have like $40,000 worth of student loans. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to college. So I didn't go to college. I ended up being a travel agent whose salary was $80,000.
Oh.
So I did pretty well for myself throughout the game, and ended up winning towards the end. So I was very happy with that.
Did that inspire you in your regular life?
Well, we were drinking beers the entire time. Corona, which I don't like.
Ugh.
But with lime, which makes it better.
Makes it
drinkable.
Drinkable, yeah.
Yeah. But by the end of it, I was just kind of drunk. So.
Sure.
Did I feel better about myself? No. No, I didn't. But that's about it. Okay. Oh, I have a Dreamcast that I have to clean. Friend of mine, they were trying to set it up to play it, but it quit on them or something like that. and gave them some error message. And I guess they looked it up, and it said like, oh, it's easy. You just have to take it apart and clean this part. And they're like, we didn't want to do it. And I'm like, I'll do it. I think it'll be cool to open up a Dreamcast and see how it works. I was like, I'll take it and do it as long as you don't care if I break it fully, because I can't promise that I won't. And he's like, no, go ahead. So I meant to do that, but I didn't get a chance to.
Okay, that's awesome.
Good luck with that.
I did fix my tablet though, my Xperia tablet, which has been.
Did you root it?
No, I haven't done that yet. I don't know if I'm going to. I don't really have a good reason to, so it's like, why risk it?
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
I would like to remove all the bloatware that Sony puts on their tablets, because there's a ton of it. And the only way to do that would be by rooting it, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
It'd be nice if you could just put like stock Android on something like that and just
uninstall the OS and put refresh. Yeah.
With stock straight up vanilla Android.
Fortunately, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other thing is I bought a new modem and router that I haven't set up yet.
Uh-huh.
But I just get sick. Like, I'll sit in here with Wi-Fi and do speed test and get 50 megabytes down. I'll go into our living room and get like 5 megabytes down. And that's really, it's what, maybe 30 feet away?
I don't know. Your apartment's pretty long.
40 feet away at max?
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty
70.
far.
I don't know. It's not. I don't know, but still, like that's a pretty big drop off, right, for such a short distance.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all router quality. The more expensive ones you get have stronger signals and also signals that can better penetrate like wood and stuff.
I just did some Google searching and bought the modem that was most suggested. The most times I saw, like the top modem of 2016, and just kind of did the quick analysis to determine which one came up the most on those kind of lists, and I went with that one. And then for router, like I couldn't spend that much money because we had a budget for it, and I did go over the budget a little bit. I think we spent $140 for the modem and router.
Oh my god.
So.
And now you won't have to pay the rental fees to Time Warner Cable for your modem.
Yeah, it's $8 a month, so we can do away with that. But the way we do it, like my girlfriend pays like $22, and then I pay the rest on an $83 bill. So
nice.
We'll see how that goes. I haven't set it up yet. I'm hoping it does make a difference. If it doesn't, I'm gonna be pissed. But I think it should.
Yeah. The router, especially if you have a cheap one now, better.
Right. I have the built-in modem wireless.
Oh, that's garbage.
Yeah.
I told you the first thing I did when I upgraded my internet to a faster speed, it was one of those built-in modem router things, and the signal quality was trash.
Yeah.
So I had to do some wizardry to disable the wireless on that so I could run the router as a separate thing. But once I did that, my signal was far better.
Yeah, you have to go into the modem settings and disable the wireless and plug
there's a few things you have to do. I don't remember exactly, but it was a pain in the butt.
And I thought about doing that, but then it's like, well, then I'm still paying the monthly fee. Yeah. I don't know.
Sure. Okay. Will.
Yo.
What else did you play?
That was it, other than Mankind Divided.
Okay. Didn't play anything else?
Not really. I mean, I dabbled in No Man's Sky, but other than that...
Yeah, I played for a few minutes here and there for No Man's Sky. Nothing significant.
Yeah, nothing to report yet.
I too booted it up briefly for like an hour, and I was like, yeah, nothing. There's nothing here.
That's probably how I'll play it from now on. This is, if I have a little bit of time here and there, If I just want to sit back, and it'll be my relaxation game, I think. I'll boot it up and do some mining, do some flying around. Although if some really cool mods come out, I'd be willing to try those. But anyway, let's move into feedback, shall we?
Sure.
So this is from Tito, says, just want to suggest to Miguel from last week that I recommend Rise of the Tomb Raider to play. It's a great quality product. And when it comes out for PS4, I believe it'll be bundled with some of the previous games as well. But it had a great single-player campaign, the graphics were fantastic, and I think it's severely underrated. Really great locales and gameplay. I had a question for the gang. Maybe Dan knows a lot about the topic, but what do you guys know about Star Citizen? I saw that they had a big showing at Gamescom 2016. And I watched their alpha gameplay they showed off for 3.0 being released soon. I don't know much about the game, but I started looking at their website, robertsspaceindustries.com, and made an account. I was looking at their funding goals, and they reached over the course of 2 years. The stuff they've added as they kept reaching their funding goals were really impressive to hear, including creating 3 new languages for alien races by working with real linguists for help. They now have a total of $120 million raised since yesterday. I believe a crowdfunding record. It's all being run by the man behind the Wing Commander games, Chris Roberts, who's been in the industry for a while. So it seems like he knows what he's doing. It seems like an interesting multi-genre MMO. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
I've been really excited for Star Citizen also. I'm waiting for like full 100% release before I do anything about it. But yeah, I've been kind of following the project for a little while. It's one of those games that a lot of people will point their finger at with feature creep, because they've reached so many of their funding goals. Like, they'll keep adding stuff as they get more and more funding. And a lot of people that are sour on that will blame feature creep and stuff. But it looks really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Don't trust it, guys. Don't do it.
Well, I mean, I'm not salivating over it or anything, but it seems like it's going to be neat. Also unrelated, I don't know if you guys have seen any of the Time Warner Cable business class commercials on TV.
Nay.
Well, Cloud Imperium Games was the feature of one of them, and it was really weird to see Chris Roberts and Cloud Imperium Games talking about Star Citizen on Time Warner Cable business.
Yeah, that is weird.
It was kind of a world colliding moment for me. But yeah, like it's supposed to have like, it's got its space component. It's got a first person shooter component. It's supposed to have like a campaign type of thing. What the heck is this? It's called like Squadron 41 or something like that. And then like the MMO part of it. But I really like it's supposed to be akin to the Roman Empire, I guess, the quote unquote space empire, kind of runs the show, and you're either like a part of the space empire or fighting against the space empire, or like somewhere in between, kind of playing both sides. I find that to be interesting about it. But yeah, any kind of space games immediately interest me. This one's another one that's supposed to have like multiple ship levels too. I guess if you spend more money, people have bought like $10,000 actual like $10,000 ships in the game, the bigger ships, I guess, which is interesting.
I've heard a lot of people be critical of that too, and I'm like, if you got the money, why not?
Yeah, I mean,
you want to spend your money on, that's cool.
If I had 10 grand to throw around, I can't say I wouldn't do the same thing.
Yeah.
If I was really interested in Star Citizen. But yeah,
I'm watching. I got it playing in the live stream right now, but the 2016 Gamescom video.
Pretty cool.
Oh my god, it looks awesome.
Okay, I haven't checked it out. I'll have to watch it when I go back upstairs. But yeah, I wrote like a preview on it like many years ago when I first heard about it. It's
been around since 2011.
I was gonna say it was probably 3 or 4 years ago when I first heard about it.
Yeah.
And they're still working. It's the joke is it's a game that's never going to come out of early access, yada yada, that sort of thing.
Does it even have like a rough release year?
2019.
No, I don't know.
I'm trying to find one. I don't see.
That's why, like I said, I wanted to wait until it has like a hard release date, and I'll buy in at that point, even if it's just like the base version with a crappy ship or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
But yeah,
it says 2016.
yeah. There's like maybe because they're releasing it in portions. Like I think the first person shooting portion was out. Maybe the multiplayer portion was out. I think it's supposed to have like multiplayer FPS portions. I think they're called modules, the different things, like, and then the like inside your ship module, the space thing, the space combat module. Last time I knew, that's kind of how it was gonna work.
The original release date was 2014.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think something is supposed to happen towards the end of 2016. I don't think it's the full finished product, but anyway. Anywho, he says, I don't have much else to talk about. Went back to my playthrough of Mass Effect. I'm on Dan's side. I don't see an abridged version for this game's working since the pacing is already great. You can beat the game within 8 hours if you don't worry about the side quests for all 3 games. Hell, you can even have a playthrough where the series ends after Mass Effect 2 because everyone dies. Hashtag spoiler. But if Dan or Corey manages to get through the series one more time, did you guys play Lair of the Shadow Broker in the past? If not, play it. And I can't recommend the Citadel DLC for Mass Effect 3 enough. Those 2 DLCs do a great job of adding locations in the universe that make the game feel more alive and do a great job of feeling like you're playing a great movie. The Citadel's beginning, I can imagine being how a Die Hard movie starts, or James Cameron's True Lies starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's all I have for now. I did do Lair of the Shadow Broker.
Yep, me too.
And it was really, really good.
The only DLC I didn't play was actually the Citadel.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely be playing all those once I get into Mass Effect 2. I did Shadow Broker. What were the other pieces of DLC for Mass Effect 2?
Overlord.
Overlord. Did I do that one? I think I do. That's with the rogue AI, right?
Yeah. It was kind of freaky.
Yeah, I did that one.
And then there is the Zaid and Kasumi character DLCs.
Yep, I had those. I didn't do any of the DLC for Mass Effect 3.
So you didn't do Leviathan?
No.
Javik? Did you do the Javik stuff?
I had Javik, yeah.
Okay.
But that was a pre-order bonus, I think. I don't think that was DLC.
Yeah. Well, it was DLC if you didn't pre-order.
Oh, okay.
Omega. What was the one? Was it Citadel? That was the big one? Omega was the big one.
For Mass Effect 2, is that the one you're talking about?
3.
Or 3? 3 had Leviathan, Citadel. Maybe one more? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be working through that. I want to play through the whole trilogy again before Andromeda comes out. I've got kind of a lull now with games coming out. Not until like October will I buy another game. So I'm hoping to catch up because I've got a lot of stuff that I started that I haven't finished. Stuff that I want to beat. Before October, the heavy hitters start coming out in October. So that's one of the ones I want to hopefully get through.
I just don't have any heavy hitters for me.
Civ?
Maybe.
What?
Like Deus Ex is really the
I'll give you the fact that it is a leaner fall, I think, than usual.
Well, it's lean for me. There's some big games coming out, but just nothing I'm chomping at the bit to play.
Yeah, because Battlefield 1's a game I want to play, but I'll play through the campaign, maybe a little bit of multiplayer.
Yeah.
And that's really it,
Yeah, for me, like I'm looking forward to playing more Enderal than I am anything else that's coming out this year.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to going back to Starbound more so than anything else that's coming out this year.
What about South Park Fractured Butthole?
I mean, I'm excited for that, but that's one I don't think will demand a ton of my time.
How dare you?
I don't know. We'll see. That's all the way in December too, but there's just
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not.
Boy, I really hope you like Deus Ex then, Corey.
Yeah. I mean, Final Fantasy 15 if I had something to play it on, but I don't know.
Civ. That's my big fall game that I'm excited for.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how Civ is. I'm curious.
Does anybody want to play Steep?
Nah.
I do.
I kind of want to play it, but it won't be a buy day one. So, all right. I think that's it for feedback. Let me do just a real quick check. So thanks for that, Tito.
We did have a Twitter note from Minnesota Mike.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to read? Do you want to read that one, Dan?
No, I'll let you read it because I just imagine the grin on your face. Go ahead.
I was just playing.
No, we'll talk about it. He's pretty much said that Corey's been saying the things about No Man's Sky for a while that everyone said after the game actually finally came out.
Oh,
Hey, Corey was right.
Surprise!
Corey was right.
Surprise, guys!
I wanted to tweet him back and be like, you don't need to feed Corey's ego anymore.
It's on us three because all the things we said to rebut Corey's argument, none of us ended up doing.
What's that?
Oh, we'll make
I don't
our own
care.
fun.
I'll make my own fun. I'll keep playing it. I don't care.
I think I said I'll keep playing it.
I think the game is still very good looking, and when I get a good planet, I get really excited. But the solar system or whatever I'm in, it's all dead rock planets, and I don't want to be on there, and I don't want to mine for the hyperdrive stuff, so I'm just kind of stuck.
Sure.
You're stuck because you're not having fun.
I think
The planets, yeah.
I think the plan is after next week's episode. I don't know if we confirm this yet, but the plan is to talk about after the episode's over to talk about the Mass Effect. Yeah, that's a Freudian slip. The No Man's Sky endings.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Eric wants to spoil them for us, live on air, so we can hear how the game ends.
Yeah, I'd like that.
So I'm excited.
I already know though.
I don't. It'll be a surprise to me because I haven't read them yet.
Interesting.
So I'm excited for that. That'll hopefully be after next week's episode.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, questions?
Nope.
Nah.
Okay. Next week's episode will be on Deus Ex. We're looking at likely Thursday, right, Corey? Do you work Thursday night?
No, I'm off Thursday.
Okay, Will, you free Thursday night?
I think so.
So yeah, we'll once we figure out what Eric's schedule is, we'll keep it posted. So yeah, that'll do it for. Were you gonna say something, Corey?
No.
Okay, that'll do it for episode 266 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host Dan.
Will.
Corey.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement. All right.